Hey,
Hello!
everybody.
Uh,
How's it going?
how
What's up,
is
guys?
everyone? I hope everyone is being glorious today,
Heck
being
yeah.
delightful. Burp. Sorry. Welcome,
Nice.
Snowflake.
Hmm.
Awesome. There is, I hope Snow Mom's doing well.
Yep.
She's a delight. Uh,
Oh, shoot, I forgot. Our whole party's like dead.
Yeah, we were
you're,
really struggling.
you're what? Oh, that's right. Yeah. You guys were having trouble with some invisible people, weren't ya?
We were.
Well, what?
I remember I critted
Hey,
to
McBluff.
get up. I'm at one hit point.
Nice,
And
nice.
I
So
think
you're barely
Balmir
standing.
Balmir is stabilized, but he's unconscious.
Well, thank
Yep.
God. Thank God Balmir is
Thank God.
stabilized. He will save us all.
He did save us all.
The
He
hero we
totally
really
did.
needed.
He really
He was
did.
the hero. He was the hero we needed and the hero we deserved.
Yeah,
So,
Mhm.
exactly.
so yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, um, we have in fact run into the Temple of Nemesine. Last week, we battled a bunch of cultists from Nanked that were there to try to destroy Nemesine for some reason. We still don't know why,
Is there
but
bad people?
this week, well, they are terrible people.
Yeah.
Anybody that keeps slaves, you're a bad person.
Yep.
And the Non-Kedians do that,
Full
which means
stop.
they're bad people. Yeah, just
Full
done.
stop.
So, why don't you tell me what you have been doing in the last 30 seconds while you've been dying on the floor after being attacked by a bunch of undead?
Draxus just like collapsed. He's like breathing super heavy. He's like checking to make sure like all of his like limbs and his like organs are still in. He doesn't even know how he's conscious right now. He's just he's just a big pile of
Yeah,
struggle on the
he's been
floor right
beat
now.
down. It's Balmir!
Balmir!
Yeah,
Hi,
Bobby, what's up?
Balmir!
Hey!
Hey,
Hello.
Denise! How
Oh,
are you doing?
Denise!
Now let's give it up. Let's give it up for Balmir, the savior
Balmir.
of the
Heck
Hunter's
yeah.
Harvest campaign
Oh
last
yeah.
week.
Mhm.
Definitely saved it.
There it is. Good job. Good job. You're great. There's
sort of.
All good.
so we have got all right. So for Daraxis is trying to figure out how he survived this. What's going on
How
with
he's
Relic?
conscious.
Relic's just kind of picking up pieces that might have fallen off of him earlier. And just using a little mending cantrip to try and like glue it back to himself real quick.
Oh my gosh.
He's definitely picking up a couple gears that may or may not have been on him before,
Oh my
but he's
gosh.
not risking it, you know?
So you're
So,
you're looking like one of those broken golems from outside.
yes, yeah, yeah.
And what
Uh,
about
oh,
Balmir? How is Balmir feeling?
His stomach is getting a little bit queasy. He because he's been infected with some sort of disease from one of these daggers. So
Oh,
he's
that's
sitting. He's
Oh
taking a
shoot, so
seat
is
and
the
just
Raxus. Gosh dang it. Oh man.
so he's just trying to figure out what's wrong with him and trying to lick his wounds a bit. He was almost killed during the fight, so he's just sitting down with Klaus just looking over him.
Gotta get
Oh
that
my lord. That's right. You guys got blue
like
rot.
2 hours is what Daraxus has, I think.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think Balmir's got 1 hour, is it? Until he.
I think I rolled 1 hour, but I got a natural 20, so it extended by another hour as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fabulous. So you've got. Good. You've got the things.
Oh, diseases must be so difficult, guys. That looks like it sucks.
Robot. You damn
Yeah.
robot.
Construct, man.
All right, so we got the crap beaten out of us. last week, and it was very distressing for everyone. We all cried and had we needed sangria afterwards. Sangria is important.
Ooh.
And before we jump into this week, I wanted to announce things that are happening on the server. So, first off, on Wednesday, we continue our Delver stream. The party has split itself into 3, and we are following now 3 parties, wandering all over the continent. They didn't split each other into 3 in the same dungeon. They are all in different countries, right?
Yep.
A DM's dream.
Best way to do it.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. It's perfection.
If you're gonna do it, go big, right? Go big or go home.
But we are going to be joined this week by a new member on Wednesday. And isn't that exciting? Who knows what he will
Ooh.
bring to the party? I'm sure insanity, because that's what we all bring to the party. But
Always.
so that's going to be fabulous. Tune in this Wednesday for that. I'm also in, right before our stream, I am in the Dead Aussie Gamer stream of Curse of Strahd. So that's going to be super fun. Playing a weird demon hunting demonic ranger. So that's going to be delightful. I've discovered that the party there is just 100% insane and will completely screw up
As it should be.
literally anything. Anything that can be screwed up, they will screw it up,
Yeah.
and it's good and it's great. Next, we on Thursday, not this week, but starting soon, we will actually be doing a Wheel of Time limited run
Yeah.
campaign. It's going to be set in the north of that world, and we are going to be joined by some fabulous people, including Haley Bell from Party of 2 RPG. We are going to be joined by her husband. They're actually going to be playing an Aes Sedai warder team, which is going to be
So cool.
utterly delightful. Then we are also going to be joined by our very own Snowflake Boy.
Yeah.
I'm so
What?
excited
Heck yeah.
about that. And Lando
Yeah,
is
you're
also
stuck with
going
me
to be
too.
joining us.
Yeah.
And so I will be contacting everybody probably this week to actually do session zeros, things like that. So get ready for that. And the way it's set up is that we're going to do our campaign on Thursdays, and then the final campaign, the end of our campaign, the next day on Friday, we are going to be doing a watching party for the premiere of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime.
It'll be
So,
good.
so excited
Oh my gosh.
about that. It's going to be fabulous. So, that's going to be great. And of course, on Friday, we have our fabulous MTG Smackdown, where we go over to MTG Arena and we beat the crap out of each other and talk about all kinds of fun geekery while that is going on. So, these are all things that are happening in the world of Play Nerd Allies. And with that, let us begin. Lando, if you can pop up the Roll20
Yes.
and show the world Nemesine,
Boom.
the goddess of memory.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous.
She is. She's a stunningly beautiful minor goddess whose realm is the realm of memory and all that includes. And she stands before you grateful to you. Grateful that you have stopped the cultists from doing this, and hopeful that you will help her in her agenda. She's still recovering, though. She is certainly not at full strength. She just fought off many cultists and their corrupting influence on her entire temple. So tell me, as you are picking yourself up, what do you do?
I don't think Taraxis is getting up at this point. He's diseased. He's got 1 hit point. I think Balmir is actually still unconscious. But I think the only one
think
that is not just a big
I
pile of struggle.
stabilized. I think the last round I stabilized at least.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
stabilized.
okay.
I feel like Thraxis
Um,
is drifting in and out of consciousness right now. He's just like,
Just, I
so
guess since I'm like the only one walking around, or one of the only ones walking around, I'll just look at her and be like, "Hi, yes, very nice to meet you. I'm glad we could free you from whatever they were doing." And I'll just keep picking up pieces of myself, and
she comes over to you, and she simply stares at you for just a moment, Relic, as you are trying to put yourself back together. And in just the most soothing and calming voice, she asks, "May I?" And she touches your head.
I'll let her.
So she reaches over and she actually very gently, very delicately, with no pain, just lifts off part of the top of your head and peers inside. And what she sees is a series of different crystal structures, like different gemstones, um, along with a lot of different mechanical parts. And as she is looking at them, um, she goes to you and says, "It's quite an interesting way to store things. I think I might utilize that sometime in the future. Thank you for letting me peer into your memory." And she puts the top of your head back, and as you do, as she does, you feel this stream of energy like water just washing down over you. Water that is cold, but not frigid. It's bracing, but not unpleasant.
Uh, I just
And
kind of
you find as you look down at yourself that you have now been healed. Look at
thank you.
you, all better now.
Fully healed?
Um, I will say that yes, this is a goddess. She's in her temple, so yes, she can definitely fully heal you if she wants
I'll take it.
to. And she then wanders over uh to Balmir, and she sort of lifts him up gently. She sort of bends down, you know, lays his head in her lap, and you feel her long cascading hair, sort of gently washing over you, and the furs of her robes closing around you as you feel very warm, very comfortable. And now, what do you do as your eyes flutter open and you see this goddess above you?
Hi. Oh God.
And she corrects you. She says, "Goddess, but thank you."
Goddess, sorry. I'm had a bit of a slumber there for a second. I beating pretty hard.
Yes, you were. I can do a little something for you if you'd like. It won't
Oh, thank
necessarily
you.
be pleasant, but it will get you where you need to be.
Oh well, I can see into my ribcage right now, so I think anything you can do will help. Pleasant or not.
So what she does is she touches you in the rib cage, and you suddenly feel your body's all of its autonomic functions start going hyper fast, and you watch as your body starts to heal itself. And she explains, "Your body remembers what it should be like, and I'm simply allowing that memory to happen." You start feeling some pretty extreme pain as this is happening, and while it's happening, the disease also starts happening.
Oh
So
God.
suddenly you're covered in these boils, and they start bursting all over you. They don't seem to hit her. at all, but you're going through the full disease right now. And just
God.
it's pretty brutal. But your body just keeps speeding up and speeding up and speeding up and speeding up until everything is knitted back together. Um, and you've had enough time to do enough, like, because of the speeding up, you've had enough time to do enough Constitution saving throws to eventually make all of your Constitution saving throws that you need. Um, so after a few minutes of some pretty intense pain, you then come back out of it, but you're no longer diseased and you're fully healed.
Oh, well, that wasn't very pleasant. You weren't lying there. Oh, fuck, you know. I do remember what I looked like 200 years ago. You don't think you could turn me back there instead? No.
And she giggles at you a little bit, and then produces a mirror from outside, from inside one of the sleeves of her robe. And as you look at it, you see, first off, what color was your hair before it was white?
Black.
It was black. There is now a black streak right here at the top of your head, and there is a black streak in your beard. One of your braids has gone back to black.
Is it blending in with the Oh wait, no, you had the rainbow one. Who had
It
the
is
rainbow?
quite stark.
Yeah, there was.
It's
Okay.
Wait,
quite
so is the rainbow color still there, or is that gone after that time?
Blended in.
That's right. You had your rainbow mohawk there. I'm gonna say you still have the rainbow mohawk, but there is now a black streak at the front of it.
Yes.
As you do. It's what one does.
Whoa. It's a little
So
bit black. Am I aging backwards now? Is that what's happening? My wife's gonna be real happy about that.
and she again gives out like this tinkling little laugh and just smile at you, sort of vaguely. And then she gently puts you down on the ground and heads over to Daisy and Baltor and fixes them up.
Klaus just picks me up the same way the goddess was holding me after she's done.
So you've got a nice robot pillow going
Yeah.
on right now. Nice. Everybody likes a robot pillow.
I'll
There's-
The same thing to Diraxis. I'll scoop up, I'll scrape him off the floor, and I'll just bring him over to the goddess.
and the goddess, so the goddess looks at him and says, what is your actual constitution score? And Balmir, yours is higher, correct?
Yeah, it's 18.
Yeah.
Dang.
So she looks at Diraxis and she's like, I'm not sure you would survive what I did with your friend. Let's see if we can do something else. And she seems to reach inside you, and you can literally feel her hand sort of digging around in your guts right now. And when she pulls it back out,
Oh
when
no!
you what?
Okay, he's back.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what were you saying? Did you say something delightful? Did I miss it? Sure. So you're just like um so as she is doing this, she pulls out this globe that has this weird bluish greenish slime in it. And she hands it to you. Yeah. And she hands it to you and she says, "This is your disease. This will last for 1 fortnight. It will keep you safe, but it will dissolve at that point. So you must find a cure that you can survive before that time, or you will be exposed to the full ravages of the disease." And you felt as she was pulling that out of your chest, you felt yourself become stronger and you are fully healed as well. Yay!
Yay.
Everybody's better.
So did that count as a long rest? What she did?
No. No, it did not.
Just
Just
hit points.
Just a hit.
All right.
So now, do you have any questions for the goddess of memory?
Can you level us up, Miss Goddess? I would very much like to reach level 5. Get some
And
second level spell.
you fall down. You fall down on the floor, and you start
Ooh.
convulsing
Catch me
as-
close.
as a metagamed dagger suddenly stabs you in the back. Full of like, yeah, poisons and all the diseases. You now have all the diseases and poisons.
Oh my God.
I just explode.
No!
And then the goddess of memory waves her hand, and suddenly everyone forgets that just happened.
Forgets that what just happened. That was weird.
Right? That's right. So, do you have any questions for the goddess of memory?
We cleared out your temple and
Oh
we,
no! Hold on just a moment. Is Lando? Hey, stream. Is Lando muted?
Sorry,
to
I
you?
was muted because my dog was barking earlier, and I forgot to do it.
Well,
bad.
thank you,
I know.
Chaotic
Thank you,
Platypus,
stream.
and hey there.
Appreciate you.
There's-
It's been
So
awkward
now,
to get to the end of the VOD.
The goddess of memory. Do you have any questions for her?
You said you needed us to help you. We helped clear out all of these people from your temple, but what else do you want?
Thank you for
There's
being
much
an ally.
that you must know. And thank you for your follow, Lycanthrope70. You get a little wink from Corton. Ding!
Yeah, you do.
There's much that must be done. There's much that is happening on this plane and many others. I would seek your assistance. You have proven yourselves capable, and I would appreciate a little bit of help in accomplishing a few minor tasks. Would you be willing to help me?
I don't know. This is all kind of sudden. I just met you.
And she waves her hand, and suddenly you have a lifetime of memories about her. You know of her temple, you know of her rituals, you know how she feels about the world, things like that. And she just sort of vaguely looks at you and says, "That should take care of that." What you understand now is that her intentions are never evil, that she is a goddess of good. She is a goddess of neutrality as well. But she is a good goddess who seeks to improve the lives of everyone in the multiverse by way of utilizing their memories to help strengthen them and fortify them and move them through their traumas so that they gain the strength of that journey. So now,
Did you do that for just Relic or for all of us?
she did that just for Relic because he was the one that said, "I don't know you." So that was in response. She's got things to do, so you didn't know her. Now you do.
Well, we are already on a pretty important mission. Do you think you will be able to help us move along with this if we help you?
I certainly think that our goals are aligned and that our missions would intertwine and intersect. Anyway,
Well,
this might help make things a bit more efficient.
it works for me. I mean, I was gonna say that our intention is to help you for sure, but you have a very urgent mission that could, if failed, contribute to destroying the entire world.
Indeed.
She looks at you and just says, you see this sort of light of fear happen in her face, and she just says, "Oh dear." And I need everybody to make a perception check.
Oh, I'm sure that's gonna go great.
Favorite.
They're always great. Perception checks are always fun.
Always.
It's super
Whoa!
delightful. Ooh,
I got
nice.
I'm all
8.
seeing.
Okay, so Dill, you
Boom,
are the
man.
only one. You are the one that suddenly feels a weird cold breeze, and it's not just cold; it is just bone-shatteringly cold.
Oh,
It is terrifying. You may either give me an Arcana check or make a Dexterity save.
Ooh. Someone leave a window open or what? 19 Arcana.
Arcana. You know that the only place in the multiverse that creates wind this cold is the realm of Cania in the Nine Hells. With a 19 Arcana, you also know that the ruler of Cania is Mephistopheles. And now, everyone, please make me a Dexterity save.
Oh God. Oh no, I suck at dexterity saves.
Does
Never mind, I'm
anybody
the best.
does well
Wow.
there you go. Great.
Can I not
Does
change my name?
You did not
No.
change your name.
No,
So,
I didn't either.
The
And I'm going to. Can I use my reaction to give myself a +4 to that to make
I
it a
think
10?
it's
Would
gonna
that do
matter.
anything?
no, a +9 isn't gonna do anything. If it's below, if it's below, just for saves in general, if it's below 10, it doesn't matter. Like
Okay.
you're done. But does anybody have inspiration, or does anybody in chat want to give their friends here a little advantage? Because they can do that. That's
Okay, still.
right. While we're on the subject, there are lots of things that you can do in chat with channel points and with bits. So underneath in the about section is what you can do with all the bits. You can give people pluses and minuses. You can in fact alter the entire course, like you can create a whole environmental effect if you want to. And in addition to that, you can also, with channel points, you can do all kinds of cool things like give people advantage or learn secrets, all that kind of stuff. So jump in there, let them know. If not,
Can I give
I
Relic
think-
advantage?
I think I'm just gonna take it, guys. I'll just take it.
You may give Relic advantage. And McBluff, what that means is that Duraxis could use some advantage right now. And ooh, there we go. All right, so Relic, give me another roll. Give me that sweet, sweet roll that's not terrible this time.
Let's do it. Oh my gosh, 18.
Yay!
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. I just imagine Relic is failing at whatever's happening, and then Duraxis sees, and he's just like, no, and he like uses his magic to help him out.
throws him out of the way, like runs up and shoves him out of the way of whatever's going on.
And so Daraxis definitely gets hit with.
Yeah.
I also
Mr.
give you advantage.
Freezes
Fuck it, I have a
cold
bunch
ray.
of
Oh,
these.
all right. Give me
There you
give me
go.
another roll. Give me another roll, Daraxis. Let's get it done.
Let's see.
do it
Let's
to
see.
it.
Dex save.
Direct.
Crit!
Oh.
Crit!
Yes!
Yes!
Damn.
No way.
So as this thing is happening, which I will describe in just a sec,
Thank you.
Dill jumps out of the way real quick. Relic is just hanging out, has no idea what's happening, and Daraxis suddenly realizes, because he, is very familiar with the arcane, what's going on, and he just runs at Relic and carries him out of the way
Oh my God.
of a portal opening onto a snow-swept landscape.
Energy.
That's
And
like adrenaline strength.
Right? Because
Right.
there's no way Daraxis will pick up Relic in any other circumstance. Just sheer panic.
Firefighter carries
Panic
him.
strength.
suddenly, all the water in the air and on the ground around this portal instantly freezes. And Nemesine looks at you with fear in her eyes as this gentleman steps through the portal.
God dang. Why has everybody got to look so hot in this?
Because I am a gay man who likes pretty people.
That's
I
fair.
also like
Who
all
doesn't?
kinds of people. I like all kinds of people. There is, in fact,
Use
I like to
hat
date
from
bears.
though. Come on.
There's- but
It's Penguin.
he steps out. He steps out of this
That's
portal.
true.
And he is wearing something that none of you have ever seen before, a style of clothing that you are just totally unfamiliar with, but is very chic, very elegant. And you see him brush a little snow off of himself. He looks around at you, sort of sizes you up, decides that you're meaningless, and looks to
Rude.
Nemesine and yes, he is rude. He steps up to Nemesine and he says, "My dear, you shall come with me now, shan't you? What my cultists could not manage, I shall." And she looks at you and
Relic runs in between them. Just like right in front of him.
okay. All right. There's as you start to get closer to him, as you're running up, you see him just turn to you. He just looks at you with these incredibly pale blue eyes, and you feel frost start to cover you from your head to your feet. You feel icicles start to form inside your joints. And every
Relic.
step you take is suddenly agony. Do you keep going?
I keep going until I drop. That's
Okay.
Can I
need
run in
you-
and tackle him to see if I can save him?
Well, so first, Relic, because you keep going, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw,
okay.
and let's see how this goes.
Okay, this one I'm going to do the +4. So
Yes, okay,
17.
fabulous. So 17. So you are still up, but now you are going to take. Let's see how much. 9 damage as these icicles grow inside you. Baltor, what did you say you wanted to do?
Balmir is gonna
Balmir,
try
I'm
to just run in and tackle him out of the way, so that he just try to get him out of the way here.
All right,
This is way out of our pay range.
as you approach, are you going to, you recognize with a 19 Arcana, you recognize that this is Mephistopheles himself.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just trying. I'm trying to get us both out of the way. Just pass through, not stay there. Just tackle
Are
him out of the way.
I don't
All
think
right.
Relic's stopping. I think Relic
So
is.
Relic is still. You said that you were still going, so you're still
Yeah.
heading towards Mephistopheles. As Balmir runs up, Balmir, I need a Constitution saving throw from you as well.
Draxus
Yeah.
is just jaw on the floor, just like
Oh.
Oh, damn. Yeah,
Oh, no.
you are stopped in your tracks as your feet are stuck to the floor in solid blocks of ice.
Fuck.
And you are also going to take a little bit of damage because this is one of the demon lords of the Nine Hells. Ooh,
Holy cow!
sadly, you take 22 damage. Oh, damn. I think he really did not like the fact that like multiple people were trying to interfere with what's going on. Um, so Relic, so first Mephistopheles is gonna turn to Diraxis and just say, "And you as well?"
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I mean, if I thought I had a chance of stopping you, I'd try, but I didn't. So, and he looks at Nemesis and
So-
mouths, sorry.
Mouth sweat.
Well, I'm sorry.
And she sort of nods her head, and you understand that she knows there's nothing you can do in this moment. But Mephistopheles keeps looking at Diraxis and says, "You might have fun in my realm, magic user. You're just the kind of person I like. And can you please make me an Arcana check?"
Yep.
And I'll let you do it with advantage because he's standing right in front of you. A 19. You know that Mephistopheles, while like all devils, Mephistopheles loves contracts and he's constantly on the lookout for souls. He is the most discerning of all of the demon lords. He only accepts soul coins or contracts with very, very high level and very experienced wizards, sorcerers, warlocks, sages, people that really understand the fabric of magic, because what he does all day, all night is research magic. He is the most knowledgeable being in the multiverse on what magic can do, and he stretches the bounds of that daily. So essentially, what he is saying is that if you wanted a contract with Mephistopheles, you could have one. Now he turns back to little Relic Robot, and as you continue running towards him, I'm going to need you to make another Constitution save.
Okay, I'll do that. Can I also use my fun little mounted arm grappling hook to like kind of help me pull closer?
As you shoot out your grappling hook, it gets close to him, and you watch as it's flying through the air. Ice crystals actually start forming on it and the rope becomes stiff. And as it strikes him, it just shatters into ice crystals on the floor. And with a 21 Constitution check, you are still maintaining your race towards him, and just being near him is enough to do another 12 damage, as the ice on your body and in your joints increases in size.
Okay. At this point, Relic is going to kind of just like, I take the damage and I just want to like fall to my knees and just kind of like at this point I know it probably won't work, but I'm just gonna like crawl to try and get her out of the way.
You see her shed a tear for you, and it just falls into the water. And she looks down at you and just says, "There's nothing you can do. One day, there will be something you can do. But for now, the wheels of the universe are turning, and just for now, they will grind you to dust underneath them if you don't accept what is happening." And as you continue crawling forward, Mephistopheles just lets out this delighted laugh. And he's like, "Yes, it's true. I will grind you to dust. I will grind you into a fine snow powder of ice crystals. But the universe will disperse you as it sees fit across it. Come, little one. Come crawling to me. Come crawling to me now."
Ooh, God. I just reach out my arm as the crystals are getting harder and harder, and I just fall onto my hands, defeated. Just
Yes, there's, give me a final Constitution save. 18, you can still crawl towards him, and you are trying so hard. And it's so painful to watch this happen. But you take another 12 damage.
yeah, Relic falls down.
Is that it? Is that it for him? Is he gonna start doing death saves in a minute?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, all right. He looks down. He looks at the robot crumbling into ice on the floor. He looks at Balmir stuck in the ice and Daraxis standing behind them, just terrified. And
Relic!
and he doesn't grab her. He simply holds his hand out to her and says, "You know why I've come. And you will come with me." And she responds, "I know why you've come. And yes, to save the people of this world, I will join you. But know this, by taking me from here on this day and in this place, you have sown the seeds of your own destruction." And Mephistopheles laughs, as I've been told that on any number of occasions, my dear. And they gracefully walk through the portal to Cania, which closes behind them, and almost immediately the ice around Balmir starts to fade, as does the ice around Relic. What do you do now?
I immediately run over to him and start casting mending because I'm out of fucking real spell slots. It's
So
all I can
as
do.
As you
Daraxis
cast
is...
mending
Oh,
on him, he does start to mend. He comes back to consciousness, but he's pretty messy right now. And Daraxis, I want you to, because Balmir and Relic were both very much focused on Mephistopheles, and you seem to be standing back. I will allow you to make a perception check with advantage. And let us see. Ooh,
19.
a 19. You see a very small glow in the water.
I go up. Like, well, first he looks over. He sees that Balmir is helping Relic, and then he's gonna go up to the glow and see what the glow is. Because why would you ignore a glowing thing in water? That's not how
Right.
real life works.
Yeah, no. So you head over to the glow. You see the glow, but you can't see where it's coming from. Like, it's coming from a specific point, but you can't see any reason that there would be a globe there. What do you do?
Instead of dunking my head in the water, he's gonna use Mage Hand and see if he can reach around and see if he can find whatever is glowing.
Very smart of you. You send the mage hand down there, and the mage hand grabs something, and as it's pulling itself up, you realize that it is a perfectly watercolored crystal in the shape of a tear that seems to be growing.
Does Duraxis associate this with the tear that she I almost said that she teared
Well,
into
you
the...
remembered that it
Yeah.
is, so you could definitely, that is definitely a thing
Yeah.
that you can do. So you know that this is the tear that fell from her eyes. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't have like can I look at it and see if I know what is going on with it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And what is going on with it? Let's find out, shall we? What are you doing to try to figure out what it is?
I don't think he has any special tools for gems. He does not. But he's just gonna examine it really closely and just see if, because it looks like a gem, right?
It does. It looks
So,
like this.
I feel like
Oh, damn it! I did the thing where I forgot to turn off the damn thing. It was going to be such
it
a
looks
delightful
like
moment.
this.
It looks
that
like darkness,
darkness.
Wow.
and it eats your soul. There you go, bud.
Perfect. New character.
All right, so now you should be able to see it. It looks like
Yeah.
this. So, and it is a gem that continues to grow as you're watching it.
How fast?
Pretty quickly, and you see that it doesn't seem to be growing from the outside. It seems like whatever is inside it is actually sort of unfolding in a crystalline form.
Okay, so it is actually getting physically bigger.
It is.
Okay.
How's Relic looking right now with the mending? Is he up?
I'll say he's got like a couple hit points now.
Okay.
He's still pretty ragged.
Bobby's just spamming mending on him, just like.
Relic, you big fucking idiot. You're too brave for your own good.
We could have saved her. We should
We
have
could have
saved
done
her.
shit.
Yeah,
Do you know who that was?
I'll just. I'm assuming like
No.
you're over top of me.
He's what?
I'm
Yeah.
assuming, Balmir's over top of me. I kind of just like do that thing where I shake myself away from him, and I just kind of, I look at Klaus and I just kind of like have him help me up and put my arm around his shoulder and like limp over towards Duraxis.
He'll heal you because he can actually heal you.
Okay, yes, that's right. He can, in fact.
Duraxis, I feel like hasn't had all that much experience with regular gems, so this is kind of like alarming. He's just
Sure.
gonna breathe.
Now everybody else can see that there is a gem that is actually physically
Yeah.
growing in
This
his hand.
is growing. I don't know how big it is now, but
So
uh,
it's about the size of your hand, and it's still growing.
uh um, is this thing gonna stop? Are we gonna have to like we have to like
let me
run?
take a look at it, Alexis.
Is this gonna get bigger than the temple? Are we gonna have to run? Like,
Let me take a look.
Yeah, here you go. I have no idea about any of this.
All right,
I'm
what
going
would you
Not
like
something
to
I've
do?
seen.
First, I'll take out my all-purpose tool, and I'm going to turn it into a jeweler's kit, and I'm going to first of all inspect it as just any other jewel, or like
Okay.
gem.
As you are looking at it, because you work with metal, you understand how the grains of minerals form and what they look like under a microscope, so that it helps you determine if things are ready. So like the jeweler's loop that's in there would allow you to see like the actual construction of the gem. And what you're seeing is that the gem itself seems to be growing in pockets internally in some weird geometry. And that everything seems to be, and that the outside is expanding because the inside is expanding. So that's what you can tell with the jeweler's loop.
Since I don't get any useful, well, that was pretty useful, but I'm going to identify as well.
Well, I'm sorry that it
Not
wasn't
good
fabulous
enough.
for you. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. So, are you going to cast it from a spell slot or as a ritual?
Let me see if I even have any spell slots left. I don't think I do. Yeah, I'll have to cast it as a ritual. I'll get all out of my hammer and I'll start like hammering over it and start creating these blue runes in the air over it to sort of
Ooh.
begin to identify it.
All
Is-
right.
Is this the thing that Annika sent us here after?
It might be.
Hey, Aussie gamer. There is so. Let us see.
I hope that she doesn't cry a lot, because this would fill up this temple pretty quick.
So, as you are casting this over the course of that 10 minutes, the crystal continues to grow, but it seems to stop when it's about the size of your head.
All right.
So it has grown and grown and
Wow.
grown and grown.
Wow.
But when you finish casting Identify, you are given this. I'm not sure if everybody's going to be able to click on that, but it is a legendary, it's a legendary planar touchstone called the Memory of Nemesine. And try saying that 10 times fast. The Memory of Nemesine is the result of Nemesine's capture by Mephistopheles, as Nemesine was released from attempted captivities by his cultists. Mephistopheles descended on her in her weakened state. He took her to his realm in the Nine Hells in order to utilize her abilities to steal the throne from the throne of hell from Asmodeus. In an attempt to thwart these plans, Nemesine stored her memories in a crystalline matrix that looks like a giant sapphire, as big as a human head. The crystal itself has many properties, but it is difficult to use, as it has the combined memories of a multiplanar minor goddess within and no machine to sort through the memories effectively. It has the ability to give knowledge about places and objects of power. It has the ability to show the past, future, and present. And it has the ability to reveal inner truths about people and things that have already been discovered. Mechanically, what it will do if you choose to attune to it, it will allow the user to cast legend lore once each day. This ability renews itself at sunset. It gives the user proficiency in insight, and if you already have that proficiency, it gives you expertise instead. And it gives you advantage on history checks as long as you spend 5 minutes gazing into the sapphire before you do the check. So, you now all know what is happening.
Is she copied your crystal brain thing, Relic?
She sure did.
You think this is? Do you think this is funny, Diraxis?
Ah!
Um,
Oh, damn.
Do you
no.
understand what just happened? And you're making jokes?
Yeah, I don't
What
really.
did you do that whole time? You coward.
I was actually wise. You could have been killed by doing nothing. There's nothing you could have done.
She could have helped my people.
You still can.
I've had one goal this whole time. To save my people.
Yeah. Want to have similar goals. My people are just.
And yet, you just sat there and did nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the way that you feel about it, but I'm gonna have to disagree. That the course of action that I did was wise, and the course of action you did was pretty foolish. How do you help your people if you're dead?
Good question.
How do we help our people, Diraxis, when the goddess of memory is being used as a pawn?
Yeah, by the Lord of one of the Nine Hells. It's punching above our level. I don't think we didn't have a chance. The only thing we could have done is thrown our lives away.
I just can't even. I walk away from him.
Baltor's gonna jump in there real quick and just say, "Listen, boys. Didn't you hear what she said right as she was leaving? We can't do it now, but we can do it soon. Don't forget that. We're not quite ready for this, but we will be if we keep going. If you keep going, you can save your people, Relic, but you have to keep going.
Yeah, we're not giving
And
up.
Duraxis, you can still save your people, but you'll have to step up. Just remember those things. And let's not fall apart right now. Good Lord, we've got things to do, and we now have some sort of crazy, amazing object that'll help us do it too. So, one of us has got to attune to this thing. Who's it gonna be?
Relic. You've earned it. I throw it over at you.
I catch it and I look back at him and I just say, I can't.
I see no one more worthy.
It'll just remind me of my failure. I won't. And I hand it back to him.
Oh. What are you gonna do, Balmir?
You know I can't accept that back. You're the only one that's earned it, Relic. You're the one that needed it the most.
Relic, you're gonna have to believe in yourself eventually. And today might just as well be the day to do just that. I think, as much as you didn't like how Duraxis said it, I think that you're the one that gave her the inspiration to make this thing happen. I think any one of us could use it, but you already use crystals for memory. You might be much, much better at gaining information.
It's almost made for you.
I look at everyone and I take it back with a heavy head.
And
Are you going to attune to it?
Yeah, I'll attune to it.
Okay, it'll take an hour for you to attune. In that time, as you are meditating over it, Baltor comes over and pats you on the shoulder, and Daisy comes over and sort of sits next to you, and she gives you a little, like the occasional little lick, little giant hyena lick on your back, just to let you know you're fine. And as you are experiencing the memory of the crystal, something starts crystallizing in your mind, and you realize that this is a memory from Nemesine and not from you. Because she has the ability to go anywhere memories are being formed, there is a spot that you seem to have a pull to, but not a good one. And you realize that in this memory, you are seeing the palace, deep, deep within the palace, in the capital of Nanked. There is an altar. And this is the place that the Warforged are created. It is a triptych altar. There is a place for
Sorry, what is
a
that?
priest. A triptych is 3 panels.
Okay.
So it is an altar that has 3 sections. There is a section for a priest to conduct a ritual. There is a section for a live body, and there is a section for a robot. And you watch as this altar takes the energy of the priest to destroy a living being, rob them of their soul, place it in the Warforged, and then animate the body as an undead. And you see lines of cells throughout the dungeon of prisoners awaiting this fate. But you now have the information of exactly where that
Thank you for
altar
being an
is.
ally.
Thanks for the
While
follow,
I-
Alma.
Well, thank you for the follow. You get a
Enon,
wink from
Elmo.
Corton, you do.
Sorry, I butchered
While
the
I
name.
attune to it, what I'd like to do is I'd like to look at my arm blade and I just rip it off, and in its place I put the I hold the crystal, and I want to hold it so that way it just grows around my arm and
That's
all the way up to my shoulder.
delightful.
That's really cool.
I love that image, which means you get a present from your DM, you do.
Yay.
Your arm blade is now a legendary weapon.
Holy
Made of
shit.
memory.
Memory
your
blade.
Arm blade. Your arm blade. What to do here? Something
I have it.
delightful.
As you
You-
stab people, they relive their worst memories.
Oh, like
No,
That's cool.
No, we're not gonna do that.
what's
We're
the
not.
Marvel character's name?
I do not have the energy to actually describe the worst memory of every single asshole you guys
Can we just
murder.
know that that's what's happening?
Can we Ghost Rider
They
it,
have
please?
zero.
That would be so dope.
Why don't you have faith in your
Okay.
DM? We're gonna
Okay.
start small. Don't forget, and for people out in the chat, one of the things that we are doing is we are actually creating a campaign setting right now. What you are watching is the history of the campaign setting that's going to be happening, right? We are developing the world as we're going, and these are going to be the heroes that you're going to read about in the history of this campaign setting. Another thing that is happening is that heroes have a tendency in this world to be able, because there's so much energy in the world, as they do really cool things, they actually start creating magic items with their actions. In this situation, we are now seeing the beginning of what is going to become an artifact eventually. Like in the Delver's Dream campaign, for instance, um, Felix's scythe has been developing over the last several
Dills, but
months.
yeah.
And
It is
Dill,
scythe?
sorry. Dill's scythe. There is too many character names. There's
You call
and
Balmir Dill and you call Dill Felix.
it's fine.
It's
They're all the
fine.
same person, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, his scythe has been developing over the last several months, and by the time he hits 20th level, it's going to be a full-on artifact. And that is going to be one of the weapons, one of the artifacts available in the campaign setting. So, we are at the beginning stages of an artifact. Because this is a shard of memory itself and a crystal, how much damage does your arm blade do currently?
So it's a short sword arm blade. So it does
D6?
it does a
1d6?
D6. Yep. D6 plus 4.
All right. Your new arm blade, to start, will do 1d4 slashing damage and 1d4 psychic damage
Ooh.
on a hit. In addition to that, when you hit someone, no, when you crit. So when you have a critical hit, you know everything that that person is going to do within the next round. And if you communicate that to your allies, all of them will get advantage on what this guy's trying to do.
Wow.
Whether it's a spell, whether it is an attack, whether it is a feint, whether he's going to disappear, you will have that foreknowledge of what's happening to that one person for the round. And you can do with that knowledge whatever you would like.
Guess we can use this to create paradoxes and destroy the universe.
Perfect.
Yay!
Perfect. I like it. So, now you have a planar touchstone weapon.
Holy
So
cow.
you can do legend lore once a day. You have better insight and better history.
Or blade.
And you've got a fabulous weapon out of this. So I feel like that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
feel like that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
That'll
That's
do.
all. Come
That'll
on.
That's
do.
awesome. Holy cow.
Fine. And above table to address Danielle's thing, group hug, everybody. I
Hug,
love all
everybody.
of you.
Yeah.
I think you are delightful.
I
It
love
makes
you,
me
Brando.
happy. And I
Love you
love the
too,
fact
man.
that you guys, that you aren't scared to just take it to a real emotional
I
place.
mean, I was surprised. I was like, oh yeah, but that makes sense. It took me a
Yeah.
sec to be like, oh yeah, Relic might be bad. He thought the Duraxis was doing nothing. He's wrong,
So-
but, you know, it's okay.
We'll talk about it later, okay?
Right. But yes. So group hug, everybody. And now, what would you like to do? You are in the center of this temple of memory. The goddess that rules over this is gone. The cultists are dead.
I mean, did we get a short rest?
Not yet. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think.
but I tuned.
I mean, while he was attuning, you could have taken a short rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely did.
Right. So everybody's doing their own thing, I'm assuming, while I attune to this. And as I finish attuning, I just look at my hand and I look up to my party and I say, I think I know Kung Fu. No, I don't say that. Sorry. Sorry. There was
Fourth
a
movie
chance.
coming this December.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's awesome.
Oh
I
my
think I
god.
think I want to say they're both John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 coming out like
The same
the
time.
same time, which is hilarious. Anywho,
Because
Yeah.
it's all Keanu all the time.
oh,
Yes. Love Keanu.
our Lord and
But
Savior Keanu.
All right.
I
So,
just looked to my party
aside
and
from developing the technology to create movies and then show them to large audiences, what
yeah,
are you guys doing?
I'm
I
okay
think
with
we should
that.
get out of here.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Where the hell is the exit?
I'm ready to leave.
I don't know. Maybe somehow
Can you
this
use your
crystal
memory?
will show the way.
Crystal,
Yeah, maybe the crystal will show the way.
What would you like to do with the
do
crystal?
you have to ask it?
I guess I'll channel the memories of Nemesine to find the corridor that'll lead us out of this amazing temple.
So this is a crystal that contains a goddess, and so to explain how gods and goddesses work in the D&D world, while they exist on their plane and rule over certain areas, they in fact exist throughout all time and space that they exist in. If they are destroyed, they stop existing past that, but they exist pretty much everywhere. So Nemesine has memories from planes that you literally wouldn't recognize as reality, because she has existed all over the place for thousands of years. You don't have the capacity to call up specific memories from her. There's just too
Got it.
many, and it's too complex, and your brain literally cannot process the same way that her brain processes. So, if you'd like to figure something out about the temple, you could cast Legend Lore and ask about the temple.
I will do that. So basically, I'm the Hunter's Harvest Ingrath.
You sort of did just become the exposition machine
Oh,
for Hunter's
yes. That's what I live for. Okay.
So, as you cast Legend Lore, tell me what you're focusing on.
I'm focusing on the construction of the temple and specifically just because it was used as a trial, right? So I want to specifically remember the end of the trial and
So we can't get that specific. You can ask
Okay.
about the temple and its construction, and that's how specific you can get.
Then I'll do that.
All right. So you suddenly start getting a flood of images in your mind. They go back to before the breaking. You see in a world of water that there is a beautiful temple, the one you're standing in right now. It was constructed by the followers of Nemesine. And what you see is that they were all Tritons or merfolk or aquatic elves. It was all creatures that lived under the water. And briefly you see that this whole planet is an ocean. There are no land masses above the waves on the planet that you are on in this memory.
Oh.
And Nemesine's temple is created, and she lives under the water. The thing is that she can create an air bubble around her temple because this is her place of power. This is her
Nice.
home. When the sundering of the worlds happened and the worlds cracked apart, there were in fact two worlds that collided together when they were being placed here on the Patchwork planet. And it was the world of the Kalishtar and the world of the Tritons, that ocean world. Most of the ocean world was destroyed when Kalishtar fell on top of it. But because this was the realm of a goddess, it survived. That's why her temple is underground, in an underground lake. That's what was left in this area of that ocean. So it's still part of the country that you're in, Duopolis, called Duopolis. But then she sent out a call to her followers, who then came inland and excavated the temple and then created a temple on top of that. There is one special aspect of this temple, though, and that is that the small bits of water around Nemesine's statue can in fact teleport you to any other source of water on the planet. And thank you,
Wow.
Ari Janasi, for
Thanks to
some
the
fabulous bits. We like the bits. And because you did that, you're gonna get a cute little thing.
Yay!
Let's see what you get. Something glorious, I'm sure. I'm sure it's glorious. There
It always is, so.
It's always glorious. It's always super delightful. My computer just doesn't want to load things right now because it's mean. So you can either give 4 +2s or -2s, or you can give 2 players a hint.
Ooh.
So why don't you tell me what you'd like to do, Ivy Janasi? And in the meantime, Relic, you have just discovered that you can use this to teleport anywhere you'd like, essentially.
That's cool.
I'll explain everything from the memory to my group, and then I'll just put my hand on the water and say, "This is how we get out of here. We can use this to teleport to any body of water."
All right,
Any-
and because we now have
Really?
2 hints available to people, why don't you tell me who would like a hint? And what would you like a hint about?
I think I'm gonna take myself out of this one since I got the planar touchstone. So y'all
No,
can have
I'm
a hint.
good. I don't have any questions right now.
Orlando, Diraxis, do you have anything?
So, out of character,
Yeah.
I like the idea of the deal with Mephistopheles sometime down the line.
Would you like a hint about that?
Yes, I would like a hint to know if it's possible that the deal will still be up down the line,
So,
and how
the
to
hint that I
contact
will
him
give
if
so
if
the hint
that's
that I will
too
give
much.
you is that Mephistopheles is very easy to contact if he has already said he's interested. He
Nice.
will just answer the call. In addition to that, yes, you can totally have a contract with him. If you get a contract with him,
Yeah, what does
it
that
will
mean?
amplify your magical abilities pretty dramatically. But you will then go down to Cania. Once you die, you will go down to Cania for eternity and work for him, researching magic. That's what you will be doing, with the knowledge that the magic that you are researching is going to be used not only to maintain control over the hells and to destroy demons from the abyss, but also to wreak havoc on the world as it is. Some of the most destructive spells that have ever been created were created by Mephistopheles and then given to mortal mages as a way to help sow destruction throughout the multiverse.
Danielle's
So,
right.
Alright.
Don't do it.
I'll keep that in mind. For his character. We'll see.
and a relic, would you like a hint on something? If we don't use it, we lose it.
Can I do a surprise me hint? Because I can't really think of anything right now. Can I do an
Sure.
insight check on what Duraxis is thinking about right now, though, so I can like.
First, you would
Give you
have to give me
plotting.
a reason why you're doing an insight check.
I want to see if he's actually considered. Well, wait, was I unconscious when? No, I was still conscious. when Mephistopheles said that thing about the deal.
Is there a reason that you would be questioning his allegiances right
Yeah, I'm mad at him. He did nothing.
now? Okay, you can do a general insight check, but don't forget we don't do rolls against other players.
Okay.
So, Duraxis, tell me what he would see. And thank you for subscribing, Iri Janasi. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
And Iri Janasi, because you subscribed, you get to hear what Lando is thinking about right now.
Okay, so to answer your question, I have to do two parts. So outside of character, I'm thinking it might be a good thing to do down the line as a character thing. Right now, he's like not considering it. Like there would need to be something that would drive him to do it down the line.
Yeah, how are you? Well, so what are you thinking about right this moment?
I think he's like he's not considering it, but he's like, well, dang, like a demon lord or not a demon lord.
Okay, so
he's like he noticed
so
me.
let's step away from the whole Demon Lord thing. You said now that you're not considering it right now. So what are you concerned with that Relic would see on your face?
I think he was like, oh, I didn't really know that I was that powerful that someone like that would notice me, and like he kind of feels
So
kind
you
of
are
good
seeing-
a little bit. He's like, oh, okay,
Okay.
like
So all right. So he's got like a puffed up ego.
A
right
little
now,
bit, a
and
little
Relic
bit,
is
yeah.
What you're seeing. Hold on. So Relic, that's what you're seeing. He's got a puffed up ego. What's your
Yeah.
response to that?
Well,
Why do you think he has a puffed up ego?
so right now, because he sees that, Relic's opinion of Duraxis is that, like, he says he wants to save his people, but right now Relic is thinking that it's all about revenge for Duraxis. That he doesn't actually. His main goal isn't his people. His main goal is to make himself. Duraxis to make himself powerful, and he's just
Okay.
the most selfish. Like, he's just being selfish.
All right. Fabulous. Is Relic going to do anything with that information?
I'll just kind of like
You're just going to store
I'll
it away
just
for a
punch
little
him in the
bit.
shoulder and just be like, "Can you stop thinking about yourself for 5 minutes?
Ah!
You got stuff to do."
Oh God!
What?
So
I mean,
we've definitely got like some Real Housewives vibes happening
um,
in the party right now.
I mean, okay. Uh, yes. I mean, sure, sure.
Does Duraxis feel the need to explain himself?
No.
Okay, then stop.
Good.
Then don't. There we go.
He's just
You,
like,
you are not required to
alright.
respond to it in any way. So Relic gets in his little shoulder punch, and that's fine. All right. So my hint to Relic is that there is, in fact, that not only can you teleport from here to places like lakes or oceans, you can also teleport to rivers. And there is a river that runs through the capital of Nanket. There is a river that runs right next to Delver's Dream. There is a river that runs right next to the capital of Merchantry. So you essentially can go anywhere you want.
Wait, can this? So it's any body of water. Can this take us to the elemental plane of water?
It won't plane shift you. It will
Okay.
only take you someplace on the same plane.
What are the
And he could take
restrictions?
people with him,
Are
right?
there just like a few people? Or is it like an open portal?
Anybody that steps into the water and desires to teleport to some other body of water will reappear in that body of water.
So
Wait, sorry.
we just sent an army
say
to
that again?
Nanket through here.
So we could go to separate places. He could go somewhere, and he use the thing once? Or do
Yeah, everybody takes themselves because this is a
Gotcha.
goddess of memory, and
Yeah.
everybody's memories are individual, and everybody's connections are individual. So you can't force anybody else to remember something.
It just, with him in the water with the thing, it gives the people in the water the ability to shift to another body of water. Okay.
So it does need to be. You have to have some connection to it. So it's not just a random place. There has to be some sort of connection. For instance, a story that you have heard or a place that you have visited. So it doesn't need to be that you've actually been there, but you need to know of the place. You can't
Gotcha.
say, if there's a river over here.
Yeah, the closest body of water to wherever I want to go.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Well, now that you guys know how it works, now that you guys know how it works, do you
Study
guys just
some
want
maps.
to go back home?
Um,
We could take this back to Delver's Dream.
yeah, I mean that's what I'd suggest. I think.
Well, alrighty then.
Does that mean we could theoretically use this to send people into non-Kate?
Theoretically, it could send us people anywhere. There's water.
Could we not just use this to send an entire fucking army into non-Kate when we need?
I guess we could, but we'd
yeah.
have to get the whole army into
So,
Duopolis.
because Iri Genasi subbed as well as doing bits, I will give you one more hint, which is what was going on in the temple upstairs when the goddess was hurt.
Ooh.
And now the goddess is gone. So you don't know, you have no idea, unless you go explore it again. It is up to you.
Probably too dangerous, huh?
It could
Put it
very
up.
well be.
Put it up to a vote.
Ooh.
I think we should very much just consider exactly where we need to be next before we step through this, because this may be our only opportunity.
Sorry,
Where do we need to go?
I apologize. I missed the implication in terms of
The staircase room that was just completely fucked.
the one where she was in. Okay.
The MC Asher section of the temple.
Okay.
That's probably even worse since she's gone now.
Right.
So we might not be able to return here.
Okay. So we want to make sure we know everything that's going on before we leave.
We have a sending stone to Annika, right?
You what?
We can communicate to Annika, right?
What do you have that allows you to communicate?
Did we get a sending stone to speak to her?
I don't recall getting a
Yeah, I don't
sending
remember
stone.
either.
No, you handed your sending stone to your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So no, you cannot communicate with Annika right now. For those of you who don't know, Annika is the one. She's not a witch.
Nope.
She's
Yes,
just a
yes.
lady. She's just a lady that lived in the swamp on her
A
own,
nice lady.
doing things with potions, and occasionally experimenting on animals and people. But she's not a witch.
Like a witch.
Just because she lived
Yeah.
deep in the swamp
Yeah.
and did questionable things by herself doesn't make her a witch.
She's a witch.
Okay. Yes. Maybe she's a witch just because
She is.
they saw her with several other witches all at once doesn't mean she's a witch.
But she is.
Okay, let's not
Yeah.
be
I don't come to
judgmental.
conclusions at that point. I mean, come
Totally
on.
not a witch.
We only have like 10 or 11 sets of proof that she is. That's not
Right. That's nothing.
Let's keep denying it. It's better for everybody.
Baltor is convinced she's the most delightful person ever because she
Yeah.
makes amazing tea.
Duraxis,
That's really awesome.
she helped him. Duraxis make some cool potions.
That's right.
So yeah, she's nice.
All right. So,
I'm
where do
voting
you think you should be?
I'm voting going back to Delver's Dream.
All right. What about you, Balmir? Just
Do
want
we
to hang
not
out
have
here in the
any
temple?
more? Do we not have anything more present? Anywhere more important that would be hard to reach on a different occasion?
I mean, not with this water teleport thing. I think we kind of had the world open up to us. I think checking back in with Annika is probably the best course of action that I could think of.
All right. Well,
Back to Delver Stream then.
All right then.
What do you think, Ishan?
Ishan and Samudra are whispering amongst themselves in the back. And they sort of look up at you and they say, yeah, we'll meet you there.
Meet us
and
there.
do you step
okay.
into the water?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Relic steps in. Duraxis, do you step in?
Yep. Oh, there aren't
Balmir.
any more glowing things in the water, right?
Well, I mean, you just stepped into the water to teleport yourself to Delver Stream. So, give me a you would have to give me a very compelling reason as to why we're gonna retcon that.
Oh, does it immediately happen when you step in the water, or you have to like?
As soon as you think about your destination as you step
Okay,
into
then
the
never
water,
mind.
it teleports
I
you.
thought it was like you go in and then you do the thing.
All right,
Never mind, you're
Balmir.
Glowing.
Can I reappear in my bathtub at home?
Only if your wife left it full like a weirdo.
You cannot
Ah!
because it is not actually like plumbed.
Yeah.
So it's not in connection with
Oh.
the sort of worldwide water source. Like, there's the ocean is connected to the rivers, is connected to the lakes,
So
all
we
that kind of
can't
stuff. So anywhere that's
teleport
connected.
into a cup of water in what's his name's tower?
I mean, you know what? You totally could if you would like to, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, that sounds painful.
it's
I'd rather
like-
not.
That hurt.
Let's see what's going on there.
So is there water right outside Delver Stream, or are we having to go as
There's-
close as possible?
There is
river.
a river. There's a river that's just outside Delver Stream's walls.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going there.
Yep. So is the
All right,
Axis.
fabulous. All right. Well, you all disappear. Baltor and Daisy come as well, showing up in the river. As you disappear, I will give you this little bit. Ishan and Samudra have a conversation about her pact with the water genie, with the Merid. And they decide that they, instead of rejoining people for the journey and the dealing with Nanket, they have decided that they are going to actually go to the city of Brass in the Plane of Fire in order to try to find a way to destroy Samudra's contract with the Merid.
I couldn't plane shift.
You what?
Oh, are they not using the water to plane shift?
They are not. Samudra
Okay,
is
gotcha.
taking them. So, yes, so there
Good
is
luck.
that now. As you step out of the river, you see that Corton has been very busy improving Delver's Dream. The wall has been completed and there are many buildings inside now. And it now looks like this.
Ooh.
One
Whoa.
Ooh.
That actually looks really
Ooh-wee.
cool.
It's a beautiful
this guy?
mountain village. Then you see that their lookout towers have been created. That Corton is obviously making ready to defend the town should something happen. Should they actually get across the border from Nanked. And as you enter it, and this is just a little bit that I found that I love, you look and you see the doorway to the mine.
Oh.
Hmm.
This is what Delver's Dream looks like. The
Whoa.
entrance to the mine. With Bandoth Noble Fury's face atop. And with that lovely little image, we are going to take our break. But we will be
Yay.
back
I
in
thought you were
just
gonna
a
say Ed. I
few
was like,
moments.
what?
No, not yet. Not yet. This is our break.
I was like,
We get to
dang,
find out what's going on with the next mission for the Hunter's Harvest. Isn't that going to be fun? Ooh la la! And we will see you in just a moment. While we are away, please feel free to look around, click on many things, and see things. If you want to join our Patreon because you love what we do and you want us to be able to continue doing it, please feel free to do that. In addition, we will soon be creating some fabulous merch since we've been doing this long enough that there are actual little memes that we have now. And we can put them
Yeah.
on mugs and t-shirts
Heck
and
yeah.
things. So, yay! So we will be back in just a moment. Lando, if you would please put up the card, that would be
Absolutely.
glorious.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we're back.
We're
how
back.
is everyone?
We're back.
Welcome back. Welcome to, welcome back, welcome from all of the various things. I hope everybody got their caffeine. I
Oh,
know.
I did.
See, it's all better. It's all better now. We've got caffeine. Everything's great.
I got water.
So, we have now come back to Delver's Dream. You have in Baltor's pack, you have the Golem's power source. Is essentially the only thing that you took this time.
I took a whole golem arm that I knocked off.
Oh,
You
that's
did?
right.
I
you
forgot about
did.
that.
That's
That was
right.
so
Did you
long
record
ago.
it in your inventory?
I
Because
did.
that's right. Because Baltor didn't record that in his inventory because you were carrying it. So
Right.
yes. All right. So you have gotten back to Delver's Dream. What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? Who are you gonna see? What you gonna say?
We're standing in the middle of a river, right? No, we made it past then. Okay.
Yeah, no, we can say that you made it past. But no, you're not.
We're,
You're not
drowning in the river.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
This relic
right.
would just
That's right.
sink to the
Everybody-
bottom,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Right.
TPK. TPK. Everyone
Yeah.
dies in the river.
Yes.
Oh.
The water's
One
just
of
up
you
to bomb
dies
his
in a glass
nose.
of water. One of you just
Perfect.
shows up in a glass of water and dies. Like
Yep.
it's just all the time. Yes. So.
Perfect, because I
let's
wanted to
pull up
play a
our
fairy
handy
barbarian.
dandy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Everybody-
barbarian. Heck yeah.
Everybody wants that. So, let's look at the calendar. So, you are only one day behind the other team. All right?
Silver Stream.
Yes,
Yep.
you're only one day behind the Delver's Dream team.
They're
Delver's
split up
Dream
a bit
team.
over the days. So which one are we behind?
Actually, you guys are all so Felix and Dill are in Jarsai right now, heading up the stairs. Gorf and Goru are they just got to Valencia. And Gruna and Athul are both researching. So you would have been sorry. That's where they are tomorrow. So today would be when Felix and Dill camped in the mountains. Gorf and Goru are still on their way to Valencia, but
We're like
Athul and
inside
Gruna are
of it.
still. Yeah, Athul and Gruna are here in Delver's Dream, researching things right now. So what would you like to do, my good fellows?
How many days has it been? How long have we been gone?
It's only been 2 days.
Oh, dang.
Because so that 2 months of real time for us, that was 2 days. Because you teleported there, and then you spent the night. And then the next
we
morning.
only walked like one day to get to
Yeah.
the temple, right?
Yeah. So you stayed at the observatory, then you left the observatory, got to the temple by like noon, and then spent a couple hours in there, and now you're back in Delver Street.
All right. Should we meet back up with Annika and plan out our next step?
Yeah, sounds like the thing to do.
All
I,
right.
uh,
I agree.
I do have some family matters that I would like to get over with, if you guys don't mind staying around for a few days before leaving for the next venture.
I mean, I don't know if we have a few days, but I want to stay around for a little bit.
Guess it'll give
Thank
us
you.
some time to deal with all of our many things that we gathered on this mission.
Yes. All right, let's go see Annika first, though.
All right. As you make it over to Annika's tower, you see that there's a lot of activity in and around the camp. There are things apparently that have happened since you left. You see Annika racing from her tower over to Corton's tower. Are you going to go try to intercept her?
So is everybody kind of freaking out in the town, or?
There's a very intentional movement happening.
Okay, I'm just going to grab the nearest person that's moving next to me and ask them what's going on.
So the person that you grab is a dwarf. And
It's Karkim.
Oh no!
so the dwarf that you grab looks a little weird because like the clothes they're wearing are just astonishingly out of date. Like, you've seen pictures of people wearing stuff like this,
Relic
but
would
this
know.
is the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that people wore like several hundred years ago. And as they
Yeah, what a
as they
weirdo.
as you stop them, he looks at you and he's just like, "Well, what do you mean? What's going on? Where you been? You had your head in the sand for the last day or two?
We were on a mission. Yeah.
Were you on a mission on some like sunken, stupid temple or something like that? You haven't looked to the sky."
No,
That
nothing-
would be
nothing
weird,
crazy.
wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
funny that you mentioned that. Actually.
Well, all right, you strange fellas. Look, there's some things that have happened. God, where even to start? Well, we were with Marden, and now we're back here, and there's apparently just, something going on in the Nine Hells, some kind of craziness, and suddenly people were falling out the sky, covered in fire, and splatting on the ground. Then there was a meeting of all the heads of the different countries about something.
Okay,
and
you're,
they all
Can I
made
do
some
an
clearly,
decisions,
insight
and
check
there
on
was-
him?
you're clearly trying to make fun of us, please.
Can I do an
This is a
insight check on
serious
him?
matter. I
Please.
realize we're not too caught up, but this is very serious, so please don't make a joke of this.
What are you talking about? There's
People
Good
falling
lord.
out of the sky, sure.
yes indeed. It
I'm sure
happened
that's
here.
gonna happen the day hell freezes, whatever.
Listen to me. There was a goddess and an angel, and they fought, and one of them got turned into a bracelet or something. I don't.
Oh,
There's
yes,
a
I'm
phoenix.
sure.
Okay,
There's a
let's
phoenix
talk to someone
living in a
else.
tree made of emeralds.
You've been
down in the mines.
doing a little too much sippy.
And he just looks at you, looks you up and down, and just sort of spits on the ground in front of you, and it's like, fine then. And he heads off to a tavern that did not exist when you guys were here before. And you see a nice gentleman behind the bar in the tavern as the door swings shut, polishing a
What a
glass.
crazy person. Let's go talk to Annika instead.
Let's go talk to someone that actually is reputable and actually knows what they're talking about. Good job, Relic, finding the drunk.
I know. Baltor, I have no idea. That guy was crazy, right? Like, he sounded a lot like you too. That was weird. Do you know anything about that guy? Like, can you explain?
Listen to me, Boyle.
Were you
You
family
don't-
or something?
Listen,
A
we all
relative.
dwarves look alike to you. We all look the same. We all sound the same to you.
I'll be honest. I
How
get you
dare
and
ya?
Balmir confused a few times. Okay,
Excuse me.
Good
I'm
God.
new to faces. Okay, I don't.
You.
know,
You
a
can't-
lot
you
of
Well, I
like
hope
it.
your butt rusts off. That's what I hope. I
Can't
hope
like-
it rusts right off your backside.
You confused me with Balmer over there. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Baltor, you shut your whore mouth.
You're not able to scan their faces or anything. That's not a thing you can do.
I mean, I'm not I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not a very social being. I don't.
And now that Baltor, now that Baltor has had someone be super racist against him, he has decided to wander off to his section of the Hunter's Harvest Hunter's Lodge, and he is going to go and start building a little enclosure for Daisy.
What a
Aw.
crybaby.
Yes, that's right, and he is crying. He's just crying his eyes out. He's got like just.
He's
just
like, we don't all look
grief-
the same.
grief just like you can see like his beard is starting to get sticky with salt from his tears. That's what you just did to him, you bastard.
Just,
Good.
I look at Balmir and I'm just like, I lived with people with metal faces and faces that are falling off. I don't know how this is. I'm sorry.
Your facial recognition software just is not working right now. It was not
I get
calibrated
the
properly.
update.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
it-
I've confused him with other dwarfs dozens of times.
I mean, I feel like it's the beards. You know, all of you guys
Yes,
have
it
beards.
is.
No.
Dude,
It is
wait,
true, even some of the women have
yeah, I was about to
beards.
say in
Sometimes.
D&D, do dwarf women have beards?
Just
In this
I'm sorry,
this
it's
I
hard
world,
think I can.
Just in
they
general.
do sometimes.
They do sometimes. Okay,
Most women in this world, most dwarven women in this world shave.
gotcha.
But they can certainly grow
Okay.
beards.
So it's a choice, but beards would grow
Yeah.
in the absence of upkeep.
Yes.
Gotcha,
I'll
okay.
tell you a secret, Relic. My wife, she let her beard grow out for a bit, and I swear, if she had the same hair color as Baltor, uncanny. They look exactly. I asked her to shave
Really?
because it was it was scary.
It's
Wow.
it's quite disturbing.
And
never
as you
would've
guys are
guessed.
having a lovely little conversation about the upkeep of dwarven beards,
Oh my god.
you see another person go running into Corton's tower. This time it looks like a sparkling white dragonborn.
Have any of us ever
Do we
seen a
know them?
Dragonborn?
You have no idea who the dragonborn is.
No,
That creature was
have we
certainly interesting.
seen
I'd like
Dragonborn before?
I'm sorry, what?
Have any of us seen Dragonborn before?
Do we know
we know what
Dragonborn
that
like
is?
as a race?
Let's see. So Duraxis, probably not, as you grew up with the Drow.
Relic has no
Balmir,
idea.
You probably have at some point. Dragonborn have only been on this planet. Sorry, are you giving me the X sign? We need to stop having this conversation.
No. Sorry, I guess I came in a bit late. I was just saying, like,
Don't talk
Relic
about
has no
Dragonborn!
idea.
There's okay, so yeah, Relic doesn't have any idea. Balmir, you might have seen a Dragonborn before because of your profession, because you're in the largest, most cosmopolitan city on the continent, and Dragonborn have only been able to get to this planet for the last 10 years. Because that's when it opened back up to the multiverse. So you've maybe seen one.
I
that
might have
came
heard
in to, like-
more through rumors or something rather than
Yeah.
met one in person.
But I will say that you have seen one that came into your shop to repair their armor.
Was it a dragon person?
I-
That's a thing.
Oh, I think I met him before.
We should go talk to him.
Yeah, I'm interested in meeting a dragon person.
Because Dragonborn all look the same too. You are. Listen.
Also, because Annika went that way.
Yeah, they meet.
Yeah,
of
let's
course.
let's go to Corrigan's Tower. Maybe they all have
Do you
something
think he
to
breathes
update us
fire?
with.
Do you think he breathes fire?
Oh, I hope
Maybe
he
he
breathes
did. He was-
fire.
That'd be really cool.
He was silver there. Where
Maybe
does
he'll-
silver dragons breathe?
Silver?
Are you guys heading
That's probably
into?
right.
We're
Are
walking
you
over there
heading
and talking
into
it.
the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
are.
think we're walking and talking. Yeah.
All right. Fabulous.
What do you want dragons breathe? Is it ice?
All right. You let me know when you get to the door. All right.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
boom,
And do
boom,
you
boom.
enter? Do you enter?
I knock.
Yeah, I guess we don't.
Um, uh, as you knock, I need everybody to give me a little dexterity save.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
And all right, so Duraxis, Relic, that's fine.
Pretty 20.
Yeah, you're good.
Oof.
And okay,
Big oof.
so um, uh, as soon as Balmir knocks on the door, Duraxis and Relic, you are on either side of the door, but when Balmir knocks on the door, you suddenly see the door fly off its hinges, and you get thrown back onto the grass. Um, and the other side of the door is covered in frost. As you see that the apparently very jumpy white dragonborn, as soon as you knocked, just blasted with his breath weapon. He looks around to everybody and it's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean
Yeah.
to. That was not.
You can breathe ice.
I
That's
guess
so
that
cool.
apologize.
I guess that confirms it.
Yeah, I feel
Klaus
like
helps me up.
Relic would like go automatically into like attack mode and just like be like, ah, Mephistopheles is back.
As soon as you pull out your arm blade, all three of the people in the room are suddenly like, what is that? And Corton looks at you and just says, come in, come in. Oh,
Klaus, help me up.
The door's like on
I'm
top of
too
him.
top heavy.
I put the arm blade away and I just kind of sink like behind Balmy, even though I'm way bigger than him. Just like I don't like I don't like you when people stare.
So yes, there's they come in. They have stopped talking about whatever they were talking about. Annika looks at you and she looks over at Corton and then looks back at you and she's just like, "All right, report."
Yeah, we got the thing. It's this now.
Well, it's a bit more than that, Duraxis. We went to the Temple of Nemesine. We stopped an event from happening, and then as we're talking to the goddess herself, Mephistopheles
I'm sorry.
teleports.
What event could possibly have been happening at an ancient, disused temple?
Well, presumably the underlings of Mephistopheles were trying to capture the lady.
I'm sorry. What, Mephistopheles?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ruler of
the
Kano.
ice guy.
No. I'm very aware of who Mephistopheles is. Mephistopheles was there.
Yeah.
We saw him in person.
I'm sorry, what? In person.
Yeah.
In person.
And she looks over at Corton and is like, Glacia, Asmodeus, Mephistopheles, and Lolth. Good lord. What?
No,
And for the first time, you see her just sort of at a loss for words.
It's almost
You
as
won't
like
believe this. We met this guy outside who was saying people are falling from the sky. Total nut job. Well, what's been happening over here? We tried to speak to him, but obviously I did not lose. So why don't you fill us in instead?
So, so Annika just sort of gets this just a little smile just right in the corner of her mouth, and she's like, tell me, what else did they say?
Well, he said something about gods killing each other.
a
in
brace.
the
Dwarves
veins.
coming back to life.
Yeah, it's total crazy, I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. So he said that there were
said
gods killing each other.
The moon's an
Yes.
eyeball.
That there was what?
The moon.
The moon was an eyeball.
The
Yeah,
moon.
he's-
Yes.
That was
okay.
really what took it for me. It was like,
That's
okay, this guy is
interesting.
he's tripped out.
So the moon's an eyeball. People are falling from the sky.
Yeah.
The gods are killing each other.
Non-Ted is attacking.
Yeah,
That was.
we should check in with the
Non-Ted is
tavern and make
attacking.
sure they're not serving like poison. Because this
Yeah.
guy
Oh.
was.
Yes.
Thanks for being
And
an
she
ally.
giggles a little bit, and Corton just looks over at her like, "What is wrong with you?" And he looks at everyone, and he's like, "Yes, it's all true."
What is
Moving
it?
on.
Wait.
It's literally he just says, "That's all true." Moving on.
I
What
think-
do we need to do about this?
I think
They
Relic's
just-
jaw like actually falls onto the floor, like it detaches
That's-
completely.
It's a funny joke, Corton.
And Titan Overlord, thank you for following us. You get a little wink from Corton.
Did we lose him?
You sure do.
No.
I'm sorry, did I
Oh.
cut out there for a minute?
Was that
No.
him or me?
I think it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
it
For
was me.
once,
you.
it wasn't Kyle.
I know.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I just
Oh.
lost count for a second. It's fine.
Maybe you just
It's
want to be DM now too.
I'm sorry.
You know? Okay, so what was the question?
Rex is like, that's a funny joke, Corton. And then Corton, I'm guessing his face doesn't change. He's like,
So anyway, what you said that there was the Mephistopheles is involved now.
yeah,
Yes.
he kidnapped
Nemesis.
Nemesis, the goddess. Like, went in, took a hand, and like went in a portal through. Yeah, it was kind of nuts.
Well, what do we think of this? And he looks over at the Dragonborn, and he looks over at Annika. And then that's when another dwarf walks in, and I want everybody to give me an intelligence check.
Yay!
Finally, something I'm good
I'm
at.
kind of smart. Just
You
check.
little smurret. Okay,
Terrible
so
roll.
Oh,
Daraxus,
God.
you have no idea what's going
He's
on.
still reeling
Relic,
from
you
the
don't-
fact that the drunk guy was not drunk and was telling the truth.
Yeah, no, he's not lying. He is
Yeah.
not lying.
My jaw's still on the ground.
Yeah, so it's so the only one, Balmir, you turn around and you see a dwarf walking in, and it takes you a minute to figure out, like, he looks really familiar, and it takes you a minute to figure out where you've seen him, and you realize it's the exact face that is on top of the entrance to the mine. What do you do? What do you do?
I think a million thoughts run through his head. You know, seeing the possibility, maybe it's an ancestor, is his grandson or something. You sort of stumped for a second.
And then you see the crown.
Ooh.
I bow, I'm a dwarf.
And he sort of absentmindedly looks over at you and is like, "Good to see you, son." And just
What?
walks into the room. And not
There
son
was-
as in they're related, son as in like
He's a king.
child
and-
of the mountain.
Yeah.
Too late. Relic thinks they're related.
I guess Draxus would too with a 7 intelligence roll. Be like,
Just
Yes, it's true.
Oh no.
be like,
pick up my
Yes.
jaw.
I don't even. Draxus doesn't even know who he is, but he's like, this guy, like, he looks cool. He's this kingy guy.
Yep, that's
Oh,
right.
wait.
That's how you should refer to him as well. The kingy guy.
So, are all dwarves related or not? I need to know now.
Balmy, are you a
Apparently
prince?
oh my god. He turns to you for a moment, then turns away and looks at Corton and says, "Who are these people?" And Corton responds, "These are the hunter's harvest. These are the hunters that we sent out to go and find different materials for us when we need to create something special. This is robot. This is weird elf and old guy.
Yep, it's It's us.
Servant of Tempest, sir. It's my absolute pleasure, Your Majesty.
And-
Completely
And-
insulted.
Yeah, Corton.
Okay.
Corton just has never bothered to learn your name.
Okay. I was gonna say, can we get an insight check and see if he's just saying this to mess with us, or he actually doesn't know our names?
No, he just literally doesn't know your names. He's that kind of total asshole. So we are now. You now have the Dragonborn, Annika, Corton, and the Dwarven King looks at you and says, "My child, you needn't bow. There'll be plenty of time for that later. Now, Corton, what news have you?" And Corton explains the situation to the king. And for those in chat who are not watching our Wednesday stream, I will give you a brief rundown. When the Wednesday group managed to clear the mine of all the demons, there was a fight in which Lulth killed Glacia, the Princess of Hell, and turned her into a bracelet. Then Sune came at the request of one of her divas, known to us as Tara, who is a friend of Corton. Sune actually came and did battle with Lulth and cut off one of her arms and stole the bracelet from Lulth. So now it belongs to Sune. They, after Lulth disappeared, the group finished off the last demon, or the last devil, that had invaded the sanctuary of the dwarves, this mine called Delver's Dream. In that moment, suddenly the moon turned into a giant eye, while a child was suddenly born, fully formed, from a crystal flower that erupted from the ground in front of them. In addition to this, that child, by the way, then ran off into the Underdark with Tara, the Angel of Sune, trying to run after him to protect him. So we don't know really where he is right now. And at the same
He's
time,
just chilling.
all of the 3,000 dwarves that had disappeared from the mine 200 years ago reappeared all of a sudden in the mine, including the king of the dwarves, Bandoth Noblefury. Then they had a celebration to commemorate the fact that they now owned the mine, and when they did that, in the middle of the party, it started
Thank you
raining
for being
people.
an ally.
They discovered, and thank you for the follow, Lart80207. You get a little win.
And I
from
do just want
Corton.
to say that thank you guys. We just hit our follower goal. Actually, not
Yo!
just a few minutes ago.
Yay!
And then we
Love
didn't
it.
mention it at the time, but we also hit our subscriber goal. So we just moved that forward just a wee bit. But thank you guys all so much for your support. You guys are fantastic.
It really means a huge amount to us. Thank
You guys are
thank
awesome.
thank you for all of that. So
Sorry.
we during the party we had we discovered that apparently Asmodeus, the ruler of the 9 hells, discovered immediately that Glacia, his daughter, had been killed. He then went to Malbolge, which was the level of the hells that Glacia ruled over, and he shut it off from the rest of the multiverse. When he did that, he cleansed the entire plane in fire, destroying anything that was not from the lower planes. And all of the prisoners that Glacia had, and anybody who was on Malbolge for any reason who was not a demon or a devil or a denizen of the lower planes, got kicked out somewhere in the multiverse. Some of them fell to Earth here. And
I thought they all
And
came to Earth.
many of-
Just some of them?
Nope, not to
Okay.
ours. Nope. There are probably tens of thousands of
Yeah.
prisoners and non-lower realms creatures on that plane at any given time.
Gotcha.
And so they've been scattered all over the multiverse, creating chaos everywhere.
Gotcha.
Now, we have just many fell to earth and died because they fell from a couple miles up. There's, but those that could survive the fall did. So now we have discovered that apparently Mephistopheles has gotten involved in what's going on the lower planes. And for those of you who do not know the lore of the lower planes, Mephistopheles is the second in command of the Nine Hells and has in fact been attempting to take the throne for thousands of years, but has been unsuccessful. So who knows what new machinations he has? Who knows what he's going to be using the goddess of memory to do in order to accomplish it? And how is he going to take advantage of this chaos in the lower realms? That is what the people who are more familiar with the realms start discussing in front of you because they have heard of Mephistopheles. So now they're starting to conjecture about what he might be doing, why he would need the goddess of memory, what's going on there, while also trying to discover what's going on with Non-Ked. What are all of you going to do?
We just want to.
I'll just-
Are we needed here? Should we step out for a second?
Annika looks at you and says, "Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, tell me." So after Mephistopheles came, is there anything else? What is this blue crystal on your arm?
I'll just kind of hold it up and I'll say, we got this from Nemesine. Is this the magic item you sent us after?
I wasn't sure what exactly the magic item was. They talked of something, a powerful item, something in the temple that could, in fact, alter reality. It could alter things in phenomenal ways, but only seemed to work within the temple. If you're telling me that Nemesine was actually there, then it could very well be that Nemesine herself was the weapon that they were attempting to harness.
Well, we have one of Atia's. That's what this is.
A tear of Nemesine. You wouldn't mind if I looked at that, would you?
No, I tried my best to save her, though. I want you to know that.
I'm sure you did everything you could, boy. And she reaches out to the crystal, and as she does, there is this strange flash. Blue light comes from the crystal, and black darkness comes from Annika, and you see her repelled by the crystal itself.
Oh no!
I pull my arm back, and now I'm like super skeptical. And
She's not a witch.
I'm just gonna say to her. I'm just gonna say to her. Well, I know
She's
the
a
plan
nice
was
lady.
to give this to get this for you, but I'm sort of attached to it now.
Literally.
As she tried to touch the crystal, you got a little flash of memory, as though you were looking through Nemesine's eyes.
Not Annika's.
Oh shit!
And you see in the background, you see just decaying trees in a giant swamp that seems to go on forever. Give me an intelligence check.
Yay!
Smirt.
No!
Not smirt.
You don't recognize the space, and in the foreground there is a large hut with smoke coming out the top of it, and you see 4 hags in front of this hut, and one of them looks as though she is new to this, but it's obvious that they are in fact a coven. And then the brief memory ends.
I'll just kind of keep that to myself for now and just really just kind of step back and try to
Sure.
gather my own thoughts.
As she like pulls her hand back from that, I'm sure it's delightful, darling. Now, let us find something more interesting. Are there any interesting qualities of this? Ooh,
We just
Danielle
got to learn a
just
secret.
decided that she wants to learn a secret.
Oh.
Danielle, you may pick. You need to put into chat one word, and I will give you a secret about that. It can be the name of a character, it can be the name of a place, it can be the name of an item.
Well, there you go.
Annika.
Oh.
All right. Some lore for everyone about Annika. The way that Annika was a very powerful magic user in life. She discovered, because she was also a historian, she discovered the Temple of Nemesis. This was before it had been corrupted.
Hmm.
It was
When it
just
was
that it
nice.
was hidden below. It was hidden below another temple, and nobody remembered that the temple was there. She found the secret entrance.
How ironic.
Right. So she found the secret entrance, went to Nemesis, and Nemesis helped her find her way to the gray wastes of Hades, which is what you saw in your vision. She introduced her to the Coven of Hags, and she became one of them. This is the same coven that gave Gruna her powers, and now has a shop on the second level of the mine. So now you know, as characters, or as people, not as your characters, but as
Right.
Yeah.
above table, you now know that Annika is in fact a hag, and will have her own agenda.
But not a witch.
Let us see how that
But not a witch.
develops.
Just
No,
a
she's
hag.
a witch.
Oh.
She's
Hag
Okay, so wait.
absolutely.
Give me, let me, one thing. I told you so. That's it.
Come on.
That's all. Thank you.
It's 2021.
All
Let's not be reductive,
Yeah,
okay?
come on.
You know, hags and witches are different.
It's true, and I apologize
Yeah.
to all the hags out there.
Shame.
Annika looks at you and she asks, "Is there anything interesting about your cute little knife?"
Well, the memories that come with it, I guess. It's a teardrop from Nemesis. I think it comes with a lot of her intelligence, but I haven't been able to understand it yet. I can only reach surface intelligence.
Orton's eyes go wide and he just grabs your arm and starts peering at the crystal.
Excuse me.
Rude.
And he's much stronger than he looks, so you can
Right.
you can
Come here,
protest.
come here, robot boy. Let me look at your arm.
He's just not even talking to you. He's interested in this. That's what he's
It's
interested
a
in.
doll to him. It's fine.
It's like, and you see him start like waving one of his hands over it, and you recognize, Balmir, you recognize the identify spell. So he is just identifying what's on your arm, and he just sort of looks at you and says, "A planar touchstone. How long has this been in existence?"
Let's see. We just
Like
teleported
an
about
hour?
10
An
minutes.
hour.
Maybe an hour.
Oh, like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Only
Maybe.
events of astonishing power can create a touchstone.
Yeah, Nemesis cried. It's a tear.
You are very lucky that you survived whatever encounter Yes, it is a
Planar
planar
touchdown.
touchstone.
Planar
That's
touchdown.
right.
Planar.
That's right. There's- So, so Corton's sort of looking at you like, all right, okay, this is interesting. And he sits down and he explains to you everything that's going on, including the buildup of forces around Nonked. And when you let him know that it was Nonkadians that were invading the temple, things start sort of coming into focus for them. They start discussing what would be the next next thing that needs to be done, given all of the crazy things that are currently happening.
Well, shouldn't your delvers be involved?
They are.
But to be
They're currently in 3 different countries trying to solve
How
many
stupid.
what? Did they split their party? How? I mean, that's the
Uh,
first thing
well,
It's
Yeah.
a bunch
you
of
learn.
idiots.
Yeah, we don't know.
And it's
we
like,
don't need to talk about that.
well, maybe we
I
could
mean,
go
I guess
get
it
them.
must be-
Maybe we could get them with
Who knows?
or what a. Oh yeah, it teleports the thingy. You can like teleport in water.
Yes,
It's
there's-
pretty- Maybe we could get
there's
them.
I'm
teleporting
sorry.
water.
Is common your second language? What is a thingy?
The touchstone.
No,
And
it's
yes,
not the
so-
touch.
Yes,
What?
common is my second language.
It.
It matters.
We found a body of water in the Temple of Nemazine that presumably teleports you to any body of water that you know of.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. It's the memory of water. Water remembers every place it's ever been, including the clouds, the skies, the oceans, the rivers.
Oh, is that
So
what I
that makes sense.
misunderstood earlier? That it only works from that water?
Yeah.
Yes, you did misunderstand.
Okay, cool.
Wait, we could have teleported to the sky?
Wouldn't have been very smart, but
Right.
No,
right,
that
yes,
sounds
I suppose
dangerous.
so.
What if we accidentally... Oh,
That's hilarious.
it's ridiculous.
Well, then you would be dead now, wouldn't you? All right. Well, now that
We're not
that
sure
little
if we can
conundrum is
return
solved.
there, though.
Well, why not?
The temple was already falling apart because Nemesis was wounded. Now she's gone completely. So we're not sure if it's even accessible anymore. Not when she's gone, at least.
Well, I'll
we
send
should've-
runners to discover what's going on.
We should have grabbed some of the water. That would have been smart.
Send 100 dwarves. I heard that's something people do. Maybe 5 groups of 100.
15 groups of
See if,
100
yeah.
Yes.
to check on one body. Makes
The
sense.
only
Send-
way to safely send troops is by hundreds. Everybody knows
Yep.
this.
Yes, obviously. They will send out some troops for that. Now, figuring out what is the next thing. They've given you several problems that have come into being in the last 2 days since you left. The first one is the buildup of forces along the border of Nonked. It is at a steady pace, but there are already thousands of troops amassed along the border, and there's more every minute. And they are robots and undead. They are warforged and undead. The second problem is creating a coalition to raise the armies necessary to beat back the forces of Nonked. The third is whatever is happening in the lower realms. And the fourth, Corton, having seen this new touchstone, begins to, you see a glint in his eye. Everybody can make an insight check if you would like.
I'm great at that.
So let's see.
Crit.
Oh, I
Ooh,
am pretty good at that. Oh, I am. Yeah. Okay.
damn. Relic, I'm sorry. Did you get your proficiency with insight
did.
when you
Yep.
when you equipped it? Okay, good. All right,
Sure
so
did.
Balmir, you can see that that Corton is just had an idea. Duraxis, you can see just everything sort of starting to pull together. Corton just had a major realization about something that's going on. He looks around
Does
the room.
Duraxis know it? Know what he was realization?
I mean, you
is?
have no idea what it
Oh,
is
okay.
because you are not reading his thoughts.
Oh,
You
bummer.
can see sort of the general
Sure.
concept.
Because I thought it'd be
Yeah,
really
insight
funny to
doesn't
say his
give you the
idea.
ability. Insight does not give you the ability to read people's thoughts.
Bummer. I thought it'd be really funny if I could figure out what his idea
Yeah,
was
no,
and say it
literally-
first.
Literally, like you see full sentences just falling out
Yeah.
of his head.
Yeah.
Like you can actually
You're just
read.
like reading
what's
it like a
going on.
teleprompter.
He has
Uh,
subtitles, his thoughts.
He's got subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
So,
narrator.
but he's come to a realization about something has just clicked for him. A real understanding, far deeper than just a plan coming together. He looks at you and he says, "One of you has connected to a touchstone. I think it will be necessary to send the others to find one as well. Let me see. I've heard rumors of many in my time. Which one? Which one?" And he is contemplating this as I am pulling up.
The list that you've made of touchstones that
I am-
exist.
Pulling up a thing.
Has Balmir heard of planar touchstones before?
Give me an Arcana check.
Duraxis really wants one that turns him into like a cool fire dog.
It doesn't.
Oh, bummer. There aren't any.
He
that do that?
dies. He just dies in the room, just because he had that thought. He's dead. So, sorry. What is your Arcana check?
12.
You have not
What about
heard of
Duraxis?
planar touchstones.
What about with
Uh,
this
have a
amazing
+8.
score of 10?
what is it? Of
Never mind.
10, you have not heard of them either.
I'm going to channel my power from my crystal and see if I can see
Crystal
anything about
power.
planar touchstones.
Tell us the
there-
info.
So, you've already cast Legend Lore.
I'm just gonna do an
Today.
Arcana check.
Okay, so an Arcana check. All right, fabulous. What are you getting?
A 21.
Oh, so suddenly, you
Don't.
have an understanding of what a planar touchstone is. It is a place or an item that was created in an astonishingly powerful event, and that has left an imprint of an incredible hero or a monster or a god or something like that. In its wake, and that power has been concentrated into something. And if you connect to that touchstone, it will transfer some of that power to you. And you will also understand that if someone is connected to a touchstone, no one else can connect to that touchstone. There can only be one person channeling that power in the multiverse at a time.
So
Do we know?
Relic thinks this is pretty obvious.
Does
So he's not gonna like share it with anybody. He's gonna be like, no guys,
Like,
like this.
No doy. Does Relic know if you can connect to more than one?
You cannot.
Okay.
I don't know. This hold on. This thing seems pretty volatile by itself. I
Yeah.
can hardly control the one I have on me.
So no, you cannot. You cannot. You know that.
Mhm.
So Corton looks at you and he says, I believe it will be important as we move forward to gain control of as many of these as possible. And he looks over at Annika, and then he looks at Calyx, and he looks back at you and he says, and I don't think we are the only ones attempting this. I know of 2 currently. We are researching where many more are. But the 2 that I know of are not on this plane.
Oh.
There is something called the luminous geometry on the plane of Mechanus. And there is a place called the Unsealed Cage in Carcerai.
What-
Do
what
we
is
know where either of
Mechanist?
those places are?
You know of, like, in the last 10 years, people have discovered about planes and things like that. So because these are 2 major planes, you do know them. You can each give me an Arcana check to see what you know about them.
This is like
Hmm.
this is like heaven for Relic. So I think
Oh,
Mechanist is
sick.
heaven for Relic.
So,
Sick.
Diraxis, you've been underground for a really long time. You don't know what's going on. Just the concept of a different plane is a little difficult for you to grasp. There's, Relic and Balmir, you are aware. Both of you are aware of what these planes are. Mechanus is the plane of perfect order and law. It is actually made up of an infinite series of clockwork cogs, and each of those cogs can be any size, anywhere from the size of a city to the size of an entire continent. There are entire civilizations that live on one cog in Mechanus, and
Getting
there are
chills.
infinite
Do they
cogs.
spin really fast?
And well, every single one of them is attached. Everything is perfectly timed on Mechanus. Um, Carcerai, on the other hand, is a plane of prisons. There are there are literally planes within planes within planes. It is one of the lower realms. It is incredibly dangerous. Mechanus is also very dangerous, but in a very different way. Um, so Corton looks to you and he says, where would you go?
Do you have a chance in either?
Mechanist. I'd
And
probably want to go to
Corton-
Mechanist.
Corton laughs a little bit and he's like, yes, of course you would. All right, then Mechanus it is.
Of course, Robot Man.
And you Annika looks at you and she says, rest. We will need to do some research. We will need to find out exactly where it is, or as close as we can. We will need to create a way for you to get there and a way for us to communicate with you. But this will be
And get
of
back.
utmost importance. And
All right.
All right. It's cool.
yes, I think it's cool. I think it's neato, in fact. So, Corton looks at you, sort of just wondering why you're still there. And, is there a reason you're standing here?
Oh, you wanted us to go right now?
They said rest. All right. Well, we'll
I'd
go
like
rest.
you to leave.
You were just grabbing onto my arm like 2 seconds ago, and now you want me to leave?
And I am not hanging onto your arm any longer, am I? Which means you are free to go. Anytime, including right now.
Pull my arm away. At least take me out to dinner next time. Don't even eat, but still, thoughts.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
start
guys
walking
head out, or do you
Now
hang out?
We'll,
I'm out the door.
yeah, we'll head out. Yeah, well, out
All
the
right,
out the
so-
doorway.
You see, Corta, as you leave, you see the door sort of float up and reattach itself, and you see Corton wave his hand, and the wood and the hinges all repair themselves and go back to normal.
Show off.
Yes, he is.
So now, you are going to have a few days while they get things settled for you. I'm going to say that you're going to have 5 days. So, first, Balmir, tell me, what would you like to do with those 5 days?
First of all, I'm just gonna hand the sending stone I still have to Relic. Say,
If you need me, just give me a call. I'm gonna go take care of some family stuff.
All right, I'm gonna camp out in your shop. I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
Oh, well, then I'll
to rest.
hand it to
We have the
Duraxis
hunters.
instead,
We have the hunters
since you'll be right
lo-
there.
lodge.
That place creeps me out.
Okay.
All right, yeah, Duraxis, take the sending stone. If you need me, give me a call.
All right. Yeah, that's.
See you in a few
alright.
days.
All right, and are you going to head down to the teleporter on the 2nd level?
yeah,
Okay. As you get there, you briefly notice that the market is set up. There are actually several stalls that are selling, including a stall with 3 hags. You see a lot of people wandering around the area. There's a lot going on. You duck your head into like the drawing room and things like that. And you see that it's been completely remade. That it looks beautiful down here. And you head over to the teleporters and you head back to Joaquin's Spiral to go have a nice time with your wife. Are you going to spend all 5 days there until you're summoned back?
I'm going to spend the first day with my wife. I'm just gonna explain the situation to her, explain why I was in such a rush, explain that I am not in danger at the moment, explain the mission we were just on, explain what's going to happen in the future, just make sure everything's on the table, make sure she's not worried about me. And then
Fabulous.
I'm just gonna spend the first day with my family, since I miss them, even though it's only 2 days. Then
Little hardy heart.
I'm going to spend the rest of the time trying to find Rafir, one of the older party members of Balmer that he hasn't met in 50 years since the loss of our other party member, Glim. Since I was
Alright.
just reminded of that entire experience, I want to find him and
I love it.
just, yeah.
Well, we will sadly we will have to discuss that outside of stream because I don't have anything prepared for that. So
Yeah.
there's and I would like something that important, like just FYI chat, like I'm happy to improv whatever is happening. But if it's something that important to somebody that used to be a huge part of their life, I wanna research it. I wanna make sure that I'm doing it justice.
Yeah.
And then before I begin looking for him, I'll check the market, see if they sell anything interesting, maybe like magic items or something, to see what they have.
Okay, there are. Which stall are you going to go to? Currently, there is a stall for dwarves. There is a stall for the denizens of Joaquin's Spiral. So it includes humans and half elves and people like that. So more sort of like essentially player's handbook races.
Yeah,
sure.
It's not
I'll
ancillary stuff.
I'll just look for any stall that seems to have armor, especially magical armor. This seems to be sort of above what I could make.
So the first thing that you notice is the armor with loyalty runes. That's being created here in the mine by the dwarves that now live here. And it is gorgeous. It is so nice. And it's all made of either mithril or adamantium. You notice more sort of leathery armors, leather, hide, those types of armor, splint, anything with wood or animal hide at the elvish table. And then you see very interesting things at the tables that the hags are in. And the first thing that you notice about the hags is that they sort of like they keep their normal forms most of the time, and then when a customer comes within about like 10 feet of them, then they change to the image of beautiful women.
Yeah. Of course.
But they just don't bother if someone's not actually coming to the stall. So
Fair.
there's so which
Super
one would
funny.
you like to go to?
I'll check the loyal arm. I'm currently wearing a +1 half plate. So if I see anything better than that at like the dwarf stalls, I'll take a look at that. If I don't see anything that seems better,
mean,
I'll
There
just...
is full-on plate mail.
I can't wear that though. I only have
Okay.
medium armor.
Well, alrighty then. Then you don't really see anything better than what you have right now. But you see a lot of other types of items.
All right. It's a smorgasbord, so I don't think I'm gonna. I don't want to take up 20 minutes of shopping. So
Shopping episode.
I'll take a look into like the inventory tab, and I'll send you if there's anything specific I want to find. But otherwise,
Fabulous.
I don't want to take up too much time. But one last thing before I'm done.
Yeah.
The second day, I'm gonna give Duraxis a call. You say, "Hey, Duraxis,
What's up?
uh,
Yo, dog.
what's up?
What's up?
God, gross. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
no, are you
ashamed.
still
I'm
in?
ashamed to know you now.
Are you still in Delver Stream?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
You got any? You still feeling a bit queasy? The boils showing up on your body?
Well, I think that's probably the first thing I would take care of. So, if it's the second day, probably not. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So
All right,
if,
well
if
then
you need
let's.
help, I have lesser restoration now, so I can cure any disease.
Oh, yeah, that
I
would be
love it.
great. That'd be great.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, let's-
if he needs it,
let's-
I'll help him up with that.
Fabulous. All right, let's jump over then to Duraxis. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna get some help with this yucky orb thing that I have that I don't really understand how it works,
Sure.
but I need to get rid of it.
Who are you going to ask?
I guess Balmir.
Okay.
Hey,
Fabulous.
Hey, I'm not really
What's up?
familiar with Delver's. Not really familiar with Delver's Dream.
And Balmir just dies. He just dies.
New character, baby.
Do you hear like a click? Oh, he hung up on me.
I love how you guys are miming phones. I
Yeah.
love how that's
Sending stones click now too. By the way, that's canon.
nice, nice. You've got a nice flip sending stone.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
But he's like, do you know anyone where I can get a cure to this rot thing? It's what? It seems quite urgent to get it taken care of. Do you have any recommendations? I don't know Delver's Dream that well. Of places where I can get it taken care of.
Oh, well, Actually, I think I might be able to do something about that. How
Oh,
about you come over to my workshop tomorrow?
That's perfect. Thank you. That's really convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah,
as
very
if
nice.
my player figured this out and was rushing for us to level up so that I
And
could do this.
dead. And
And
dead again.
Dead
Yeah,
twice.
just dead.
So now you have to make a
fell
new
down.
character,
Yeah,
and they'll
now,
immediately
now
die. And then you have
his
to make
whole family, no,
his
full
whole
family
family.
dead.
Family?
His whole family dead.
Dang.
Like
my
the
God.
whole city. The
Because
city just fell into the ocean. Like there's
Balmer
just,
just
come home,
exploded, took
your
out an
wife's
entire city
dead.
block.
yeah,
And then
that's
you
what happens
die.
when you just FYI chat. That's what if you metagame too hard in my games, whole city's just destroyed.
Yep.
Like,
That's what happens.
Is gone.
Don't mess with God.
Yeah.
Mess
So,
with God.
all right. So you have done that. You've had a lovely little conversation. Delightful. Are you going to do anything this evening, Duraxis?
I think probably it'd be a shopping thing. So we can do that outside the
Okay.
game too. So
Fabulous.
we have some
All right, and
money.
Relic, what are you going to do?
How long would it take for Relic to try and make a magic item, or does he need Balmir for that?
If you were to attempt to make a magic item, I would need to look up like exactly like because it's going to depend on like if it's rare or very rare or uncommon, like what that's going to be the amount of money and the time it's going to take.
It's basically just taking the arm and then making it into a weapon. So what? I don't know what that would take.
Well,
Or would I just
yeah, we can
use the
discuss
arm
that
to
after
smack
the stream.
people?
It
Like,
technically is a
say-
weapon
Yeah,
now,
I feel
but
like
you know.
that is heavily technical, you
Yeah.
know, depending on what you want to do with it. And so, as that is, you know, like we don't in stories we don't need to describe like someone going to the bathroom or walking down the hall or things like that. We'll leave that extra technical stuff out of this story and jump over it on our time so that the people in chat are not having to sit through a long ass discussion about what's
Gotcha.
going on with that. So does Relic do anything else besides he's just going to try to do that during his 5 days?
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, so I think most of the day it's probably going to take. He's going to attempt to make a magic item, like I said.
Okay.
And then whatever downtime he has, he's going to.
So I need you to understand magic items take months, not days.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not this is making a magic item takes a long time. It's not like I've got a thing and I'm gonna put this gem here and tink 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 yay. It's a long process.
Okay, I'll just shelf that for now then. And oh man, I didn't think of anything else.
I
That's
do think
okay.
a common item is a week, so you might be able to do a common item.
Yeah, but like an uncommon is like a month,
Yeah.
you know, and then like rare you start getting into like 3-6 months.
Yeah, I'll just throw it in the oven and set a timer. Who knows?
Perfect. I like it. We'll just do that. We've got that
I'll go
magic oven.
I'll
That
go
makes
shopping with the rest of the team then.
Fabulous.
Easy bake magic item.
Perfect. I love it. There's all right. So, you guys spend your downtime doing downtime things, and it's
Yay.
delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is great.
after about 5 days, Annika and Corton summon you again. They hand you a few scrolls. They look you over. They look you up and down. Who's the most magically inclined? First off, who's a full caster?
Draxus. Ow.
Draxus. Is Relic a full caster?
I have levels in Wizard, but I'm also a fighter.
Okay, so they hand the scrolls to Duraxis. These are scrolls of planar travel. There is you have got 2 of them. One of them to get you there, one of them to get you home.
Yeah,
Nice of them.
there's a 10% chance this might not work. Twice. We'll see.
They also hand you a map, and they tell you you're going to have to find the first cog in this map. But once you've found that, then this map will lead you where you need to go. And
All
it
right.
looks like on the map that it's showing you the first cog is a cog that is much larger than the other cogs on the map. And it shows what looks like an ocean on top of the map, on top of the cog, and a continent in that ocean. And it looks as though there are settlements on that. You don't know who has settled there. You don't know what it is. But as you look at the other cogs that go away from there, that head towards the planar touchstone, you see some that have forests, you see some that have deserts, and you start to see towards the end of the map, you see a lot of small things that look like anthills. And Corton and Annika point out to you some of the dangers that you might experience, and when they get to the anthills, they say, these are Formian hives. Formians are very lawful. They are an insect people, and they have very strict hierarchies, rules, and laws in their particular areas. Before you enter any of these areas, you must consult with whoever is guarding that area about what the local laws are. They may be different from hive to hive, but if you enter their land and do a single thing wrong, they will just kill you. These are creatures of absolute law, and therefore have no mercy at all. Be aware of this. This continent here on this ocean, in this larger cog, this is known as Halaflia. It is a settlement of elves and halflings. This is where you'll start your journey. Are you prepared?
Can I use the bathroom real quick before we go?
Corton looks at you with such a withering glare that your
I don't need to
your
go anymore.
asshole-
Never mind.
Yeah, your asshole just puckers so hard that you'll probably be constipated for a week.
Ooh.
Oh, yucky, yucky.
Never mind. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, that's good, old dwarf. Yes.
Hey,
Um,
you're older than me, wizard.
Yes, I am. But I look
Old
amazing.
Hey, I got some black in my beard.
That's right, you do. I love it. So, are you prepared?
I mean, assuming that we
Oh,
get to do
yes.
stuff off stream for the 5 days, yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, he's
Fabulous.
got his thing, his kitty bag oven, and
I'm so ready to go to
Right. The Mechanist. All right, why don't
Mechanist.
you? All right, tell me as you start reading the scroll of planar travel, what does it look like?
is Relic able to read it? Because it might be better for him to do it.
I mean, I could do it. It's probably just yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
Make
know
a
what else.
decision,
Is-
please.
There's a
Right.
chance.
I think
There's a
all of
chance
us-
that his
All of
gets
you
missed.
could do it.
Exactly.
Almost can do it, but directs actually have this, like the level to do it without having to make a check, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine. I'll do it.
So I think it's safer for him to do it.
Let's see. All right, reading it. Like, okay, I understand this. All right. Like, how do you like? I'm gonna say right now that scrolls work. You read it, and then you know how to do it. You don't have to like read off the scroll to do it. So he's gonna read the scroll, and And then he's gonna be like, okay, you start doing the magic, and we'll see what happens with the magic.
So
if you-
there is a connection to the scroll because the scroll contains the actual spell as well. So the energy for the spell is coming from the scroll
Gotcha. Okay.
instead of
So
from you.
he's drawing it from the scroll and manipulating.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll see what happens.
So what does this look
15.
like?
15. Okay. So it doesn't go wonky.
Because you've never attempted a spell this high level, I'm gonna need you to give me another roll.
Five.
So,
Five.
oh, okay, yes, so you're
Okay.
fine. You're fine. All right.
Woo!
So tell me, what does this
Woo!
look like?
I imagine it's like the scene from Minority Report where he's like moving all the little things, or Doctor Strange with like the little glowing hand things. He's like, okay, it's like moving all the pieces where they need to be. It's like a puzzle, and then it like clicks into place and a doorway opens.
So as you are making these as you are creating these images in the air in front of you, first you see one that looks fragmented, and you understand that this is the patchwork planet, the plane that you are currently on. And everything, and around it the sky is fractured. That's the reef of glass. That's sort of what it looks like. It's a geometry that has symmetry, but is off kilter. And then as you start drawing in the air another one, this one is perfectly geometrical. Every single line connects exactly at the center of every other line, or at exactly a perfect angle. And as it lights up in front of you, you see the two circles representing the two planes connected through a beam of light. And when you finish the spell, you touch that beam of light, and the doorway opens before you.
He does one of these.
And that
like,
is
"I
where we
did
will
it."
end tonight.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Heck yeah!
So next
Absolute
week they will
craziness.
head off to Mechanus.
That's
And
nuts.
now we're going to do a little raid, but before we do, I wanted to remind everybody who is here now that might not have been here earlier of what's going on this week. So, Wednesday, I'm going to be in Dead Aussie Gamer's Curse of Strahd in the morning, which will be glorious over on his channel. And then immediately I will be coming over to our channel here to DM Delver's Dream, where we have split the party into 3, which is just the best thing that's ever happened to me as a DM. So, and we will be being joined by a new player this week, which will be exciting and glorious. Then, this Thursday, we do not have anything planned, but within the next few weeks, we will be starting our Wheel of Time
Heck yeah!
campaign.
Woo!
It is going to be manned with players from places like the Party of 2 RPG, with Haley Bell coming in with her husband, and they are going to be playing an Aes Sedai and Warder team, which is very exciting. Then we have got our Diraxis, Alando here is
Yep.
going to be playing as well, and Snowflake from
Hey,
our server
what?
here, which is
Yeah.
gonna be
Snowflake.
fabulous. And I will be sending out a call. I would like to have one more player. So if you know someone who is interested,
Or if you're
please
that someone.
send us. Yeah, send us a shout out. That will be delightful.
Heck
Then on
yeah.
Friday, of course, we have got our Magic the Gathering Arena
MTG.
Smackdown, where Lando and I beat the crap out of each other.
Make some nasty
with little
decks.
playing cards, and it's glorious.
It's
It's
glorious.
just glorious.
Great.
Now, I think it is time.
Oh,
for
real quick,
us.
I did want to shout out to our sponsor for the month, Reverie RPGs. They're doing a wonderful Kickstarter. We have some pictures down below. They're doing these awesome tokens. So if you're playing in a
Yeah, it's
physical game,
delightful.
yeah, go ahead.
And now we are going to head over to a raid. I think we're going to
Yeah.
raid Rolling Together RPG.
Let's do it.
Yay!
Yeah.
There is, yes. We are now part of the Rolling Together stream team,
Yes.
which is super exciting. So,
Super excited.
when you raid, remember to say what Playnerd Allies is bringing to the potluck. I am going to be bringing the memory of Nemesine to the potluck. Ha 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 ha. And have a delightful day, everyone.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.